And we are allegedly fucking live.
Probably.
We'll do it live, motherfucker. We'll do it live.
Ah, how many expletives can you fit into the first 5 seconds of a video?
Oh,
Good point.
It's not like Facebook's watching. Everybody's locked in at home and shit, apparently. Apparently.
Mm.
Right, so just while I share all this crap out so we don't do the thing and give
Oh, look,
people
it
a
does.
chance. Yeah, there we is.
Instantly, we start with expletives and gin.
Expletives and gin.
High five. That was a rubbish high five. I don't want to hit the microphone.
I was going to do the miss.
You do the miss. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, we're good at that.
Copy link. Here we go. Right.
You copied the link from the right one, or have you copied the link from the bad one?
I've copied the link from the right one.
Okay, just double checking.
Marriage has changed you, dear.
Fuck off. Hi, Mum, who's the first one that's joined.
Really?
Yeah.
Hi, Mom. Okay, you want to type anything up on there?
No.
On that?
No, it's fine. I did a whole thing.
Okie dokie. Well, apparently I can't post it to a story.
No, you can't post videos to stories.
Right, so we got on Pugnacious Press, that is thinged. We're just linking this thing out and stalling while we link everything through.
Mum, you're not going to like any of these stories. But enjoy.
She might.
No, she won't.
Your mom's like a covert horror nut. She just hasn't worked it out yet. I'm not even kidding. Seriously, there's a great deal of discussion that happens.
Like on Facebook, we look really red. And
Yeah,
on
we
your
do.
screen, we look really pale. I look like I'm good at
Should it
10.
be- Is that better?
It's fine.
That way. There we go. Just, I feel like I'm taking up like 90% of the frame.
So I take up 90% of everything else, so it's alright. I look
feel
really
like
short
we
and
should've-
squat on Facebook. We both look compressed.
Ooh.
Seriously, I'm like 50 foot long in the face.
Right, we're gonna try and keep ahead of this with the comments this time around.
Okay.
Cool. I love how kind of all the days we pick to go live, I wake up and I just have this. I'm growing this secondary face on my nose here, and that's the day we choose.
I always wanted a threesome.
Uh
You, me, and Steve, the pimple.
huh. Steve seems to be the standard. Oh, we got ourselves a nagel.
Linda actually edited this book.
Indeed, she did. She done did a good jobbings. So there is a message. I thought that thing was on silent.
It should be on silent.
It's always on silent, says Pip.
Well, it's not going to be on silent
Yeah.
now. People can actually enjoy my things making noises.
Making beep noises. You want to
Yeah.
grab it? Hiya!
No, I can't be able to stand up.
Okay. Should I go get it?
You can
sure?
get it. I don't think I'll make that many bleepy noises.
Okie dokie. Well, the reason...
Babes. No, babes, not babies.
I've been listening to too much The Frank.
Yeah. Oh, babies. Yeah.
Babies. It's always babies.
Z Frank and the Wildlife.
The Frank.
Z Frank's wonderful.
He is. We're actually just stalling to get bodies in to give people a chance to kind of catch up. So it's not really that we don't have a plan here. We're legitimately stalling because that's how this thing normally rolls, isn't it?
Well, it's 4:30 on a Sunday, and it's Easter. Most people are probably having their dinner, or are unconscious, or are in a chocolate coma.
Or they're smart enough to actually be watching the Twin Temple thing, I've just realised.
That's not now. That's
Really?
in American. It was 3 p.m.
American 3 p.m.
American 3 p.m. depending on which state they're in. So not UK 3 p.m.
Smug bastards.
Mm.
Right, I'm looking
I
for the
don't
wood
even
here.
think it is anyway.
Okay. Well, should we just get cracking then?
Yeah.
So
People can watch from the beginning again if they really want to.
folks can kind of catch up midway.
Yep.
And you're gonna watch me just stumble over my face
And words.
and my words and my tongue.
Can you hear us okay is the question.
Yeah, I think so.
You're married and stuff. I know.
Low level disagreement.
I'm going to keep drinking this.
Yeah, I know, right? God. So, I'm going to start with the introduction. This is from Poison Candy. And I'm going to selectively skip shit as it becomes unnecessary.
Kill.
This is 100-word stories. 100 word stories,
Yes.
minus the 6 or 8 adverts, because we're not going to read those because they're going to be out of context and
Yes.
silly. If you feel at all inclined for free books and shit, there is a link in the description where you can download an Apple version.
Yep.
Or a Mobi for Kindle, and you can sideload it. If you get stuck, private message me, whatever, and I'll talk you through how to load it onto your Kindle.
Yep.
That's
Other
like
than
a, that's
free
like a
story,
Kindle
free
but
book,
with a thing.
and audiobook.
And audiobook. We apologize for both. A quick word of warning. First, we wanted to say a big old thank you for picking up this book. Well, that and give you a heads up or two. Pippa and I, being a skeezy, scummy, vulgar pair, have spared no expense in the taste department for poison candy. Be warned, folks. The dog dies, the children seldom, if ever, outrun the monster, and Mommy and Daddy aren't here to protect you from the thing in the closet. In fact, Mommy and Daddy make the monsters look like toothless puppies. And all in a drabble. That means 100 words exactly, no more, no less.
Yay!
Yay! This first story is
Ooh,
yours.
fine.
It is Teef's.
Teeth. Mummy, they hurt, cried Zoe, pressing her fingers against her gums. Hush now. We all go through the change. But it's not fair. Life isn't fair, sweetheart. Look at Mr. Glover from next door. He's old and frail. He can't even look after himself. Zoe folded her lip over her extending teeth. I know. I'll be strong like Daddy soon. But, Mummy... Yes, my little beastie. Do I have to look at Mr. Glover? He keeps twitching. I don't like it. The old man wheezed, blood leaking from his neck. I finished with him.
What?
How do I get it to move?
There.
No.
This actually has buttons.
Now you start on the baby.
Nom 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 nom.
No, it's yours.
Yep. David just turned up.
Hey, David.
Mr. Court. Welcome to the hellness. If you would like a free copy, the link is in the doobly-doo.
And Ryan.
And
Hi,
Ryan. Here we go.
Yeah, free book, and we're reading it as well. So
Yeah, it's 100 word stories, and they're all shit.
no, we're not.
That is the
Oh, that's the level we're aiming for.
that is the Pilgrim Household Guarantee. Excellent, dear. This is called Halloween Love.
Yep.
Candles mounted on the gravestone above Lentis. See, I can't even.
Go for it.
Gonna start this again. Candles mounted on the gravestone above lend a supernatural splendor to the starlit October night. Josie's overdue kisses are intense. Their tremors ripple through her frame in localized earthquakes. The picnic scattered around them on the grass has gone untouched. Again. Josie straddles her Evan. The sensation of his bare skin against hers shortens her breath, making her shudder. When she comes, it's Niagara Falls. Her heart still pounding a metal concert drum solo, she hoists him up and places him back into his coffin. After one last peck on his dead cheek, she shovels back the cold, wet earth. Oh, it's Tara. Gonna have to... Oh, that's you.
Hey. Okay. Pumpkin pasties. Pumpkin pasties. Get your pumpkin pasties. Mike slipped a coin on the counter. One, please. Here you go. Nice and hot. Made 'em myself. He grabbed the pasty and wolfed it down. His stomach twisted and gurgled. That didn't taste right, he moaned between burps. Maybe you ate it too fast, said the baker. Ugh, what was that? You said it was pumpkin. It is pumpkin, with a special Halloween ingredient. Mike doubled over and spewed wriggling lumps of orange and green. You poisoned me! No, I didn't. Do you know how hard it is to mince a live goblin?
This was a good one, actually.
This one? This is a good one.
This is called Run, Winnie, Run. Yeah, Tara's just turned up.
I'm waving.
Hi. Branches scratch at Winnie's wrinkled face as she sprints through the nocturnal forest. Grasping the fragile bundle to her chest, she doesn't need sight to know that the hungry things are watching. She must protect the baby from them at all costs. There is too much at stake. Ahead, jack-o'-lanterns encircle an impossibly desolate clearing with a primeval well at its center. Instinctively, the baby in her arms begins struggling, dusting the blanket with an amniotic crust. The corpulent thing in the well yammers, wailing in anticipation of hot meat and tiny bones to grind in its teeth. Ooh. Fancy, fancy. Oh, this is a good one too.
Okay. So this is bespoke lady suits.
Should we be talking about these as we go? Is there any point?
We have 100 stories to read.
Yeah, I suppose we should get to about halfway before we start talking shit.
We always talk shit.
I know.
Drink more gin, you'll be fine. Bespoke lady suits. Lisa lay on the table, tears streaming down her face. She struggled. Her numb body wouldn't respond. The skin of her left arm was peeled back like a washing-up glove if they sold them in putrefying skin pink. The surgeon began on her other arm whilst humming Monster Mash, his dark eyes looming from behind a vintage Frankenstein mask. He sliced open her torso, shooting her a wink as he cut off her boobs and jiggled them. Then, he carefully folded the skin and slipped it into a box. Lisa squinted at the sign on the table. Lady suits. Oh, it's an advert.
Yeah, we've got a...
It's kind of... There we go. You won't be able to read it, but this was one of the adverts which you'll be able to read when you download the book.
Yeah. Which, again, is free in the description here.
It is. Completely free.
Completely
free book for the plague.
For the duration of this extravaganza.
That's yours.
Oh.
I think we managed to alternate because there were so many stories. I think we alternated a lot of them.
I think we wound it up at the end. I'm just keeping an eye on commentaries and stuffs. Just so... There we go. So now I can actually comment.
I'm just going to drink gin and talk.
Oh, that's excellent. Well, the thing is kind of just keeping an eye on it because it keeps people involved. The Home.
Dum, dum, dum.
Every year, the starlit evening retirement home staff go all out. From midnight, September 30th, pumpkins and bats adorn the corridors. It makes some of the residents uncomfortable, but deteriorating minds tend to forget quickly. The Halloween hootenanny is always spectacular. They hire a DJ who picks the sort of vintage swing that the costumed wrinklies love. But no matter how much fun they have or how young they feel, come lights out, the ravenous, shambling thing will stalk the halls. Impossible fingers picking the locks as it does every night of the year. Come morning, no one ever remembers. Hey, Mr. Ryan. I think Mr. Stolling. Alice, that's you?
That's me.
Right, we're going to get pretty repetitive here, I think.
Really?
No, I just mean in terms
forward?
of... Yeah. If you're just joining us, we're reading our book. It's 100 word stories. There's a free link in the description. You can download it for free.
Yay!
Yay, and do a side load. Yay, woo, read.
Alice, go to sleep. Mummy, there's a monster under my bed. There's nothing there, Alice. It's bedtime, now get. But Mummy, there really is. He was talking last night, I heard him. When it's late, he crawls in my window and hides in the dark. Really? Well, I guess I better go check for this monster, then. Hello? Any monsters under here? Mum dropped to her knees and peered into the darkness before vanishing. Mummy, where are you? I'm under your bed, sweetheart. Mummy, your voice is all strange. Is that really you? Why don't you come under here with me and find out?
Yeah, we did alternate.
This is yours, isn't it?
That is me.
Yep.
Gee, so for the record, it's been a little time since we've both looked at this, as
Like
you
2
do.
years?
Yeah, so this was 2 years ago.
Yeah, almost 2 years. It'll be 2 years this October.
Bloody hell! And this was a heated writing
Yeah, it was.
extravaganza. This is called Premature Decoration. It's the same time every year. Around mid-September, my skin begins to crawl. Used to wonder why my mother always put the decorations out early. Wish I was still that naive. God, I miss her. I hollow out the pumpkins automatically, carving out eyes, noses, and mouths. It isn't important if they're pretty, only that they glare. It hates the staring. That's what Mum used to say before the night all the candles went out. I'll never forget the thing's faceless face or the sound it made as it scraped across the ceiling. Now I only use battery-powered candles.
Yay!
Ooh.
Now, would that really count?
What? Like battery-powered candles?
That's you.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Ha ha. Hey, you're the one that chose the order of the stories.
Yeah, I did. I apologize. I apologize a lot for a lot of things.
And that's what makes you a good husband. 3 weeks in and he hasn't killed me yet.
Oh, God. Yet.
Alright, go for it.
Oh, sleep went to sleep. There we go. Right. The scratching. Night after night, wherever I am, the thing scratches. Unseen claws cleaving deep furrows into the naked pine of my closet door. The endless snarling filling the room with its rancid meat breath. All I can do is lie in bed, my fists clenched beneath the useless blankets, molten tears streaming down my face. For months it's shadowed me. At dusk it's there, growling from within the nearest cupboard, beneath the aeroplane lavatory seat, or the boot of my car. The few times I've been brave enough to peek, it stops dead. Nothing but jagged shavings and flecks of saliva.
Dum, dum,
Dum, bum. Yep, that's you.
Wee.
Yeah.
I like it. So with this book, we tried to fit some of our friends into it.
Yeah, there were.
So this one is my friend who owns with her fella.
This is Katie.
Katie. This is Katie.
Katie Whittle. If you haven't checked out what she does,
With Frisson Comics.
Frisson Comics, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
They put a zine out every 3 months, which is really it's a really badass kind of collection of art and short stories and flash fiction, and they're
just wonderful.
It's a wonderful little kind of black and white thing. She specially designs a cover.
It's not even black and white now.
The interior.
It's in colour a lot of the time now.
What?
But yeah. So literally, if you look up Katie Whittle Art or Frisson Comics, Frisson, you'll find a lot. Anyway.
Sorry.
That's right, I'm trying to get my voice back.
Look
Sex and Candy Apples. If you imagine.
Whoa. That's dark stuff, Mr. Ryan. Very, very dark.
Okay, Sex and Candy Apples. Katie danced around the punch bowl.
I'm sorry.
A year worth of planning had paid off. Groups of drunk teenagers huddled in dark corners groping each other. The stink of sex and candy apples permeated the room. It would be enough to attract them. Then maybe they'd make her one of them, a vampire. Shadows crept along the lawn as they descended. Unfortunately, Katie had miscalculated who she was going to attract. 4 hulking werewolves burst through the lounge window and ravaged the hormonal partygoers, tearing them limb from limb in a hurricane of fur and blood. Katie shrugged. Close enough. I like that one. It's you. Yeah, it's you.
Is that money for meat?
Yeah.
I am just catching up with anything else. There's old muggins. Paste.
He's doing things.
Sorry, I'm trying to do admin.
Cool.
While we're talking.
Do you want me to just read your story?
You can if you like, but no, we were trading this out.
There you go. I would just drink my gin.
That is an excellent idea, dear. Bathtub. That's really dark, Ryan. Brain. I know a lot of people who apologize a lot, and yeah, he's pretty scary. Like my money is actually on this boy being hacked up in a bathtub before the end of quarantine. Weird. Right. Money for meat. I don't remember this at all. I just know that it was mine.
It is definitely yours.
One bare leg atop the glowing jack-o'-lantern, Mercy Stanford waited for her evening's only client. His name didn't matter, but any man who was spending Halloween in her company was probably up to no good. Normally she took the holiday off. Her regulars usually had plans. He was exactly what she'd expected. An obnoxious, self-delusional prick with tiny hands, a bulging wallet, and a caricature comb-over.
Not naming names.
Sounds like an... She felt sorry for him. Almost sorry enough to fuck him before she slit his throat and cut out his organs. But that always lowered the price of the meat. Low-level threats. Speaking of bodies in bathtubs. Whoa.
Plumbing issues.
Yeah.
Not a euphemism.
Yeah, they're... saying
Old house,
saying,
pipe problems.
Saying not a euphemism makes that sound like a euphemism.
Oh, we should get pipe cleaner. I'll be sorted later.
Plumbing
Right.
issues.
Okay. 666. You got the mark on you, the old lady screamed at Trevor as he crossed the road away from her. It was the 4th time this week she screamed at him. She turned up to his work and followed him around the local supermarket, whooping and waving her arms at him. Not only was it embarrassing, but it was starting to get scary. That evening when he drew the curtains, there she was, standing on his street, pointing at his crotch again, mouthing, "Devil!"
Devil.
How did she know he'd lost that bet and got 666 tattooed on his arse? I like that one. Yours. Definitely
You
yours.
sure?
Yeah, that's not my writing.
Devil's Holiday. I'm having to really think hard about these.
Yeah, that's not mine.
Yeah, incidentally, this one's called The Devil's Holiday, and the book that we put out in this our second Halloween book that we put out was called
Devil's Night.
Devil's Night, which is fantabulous. We also, incidentally, all the links are in the doobly-doo, of course.
Got an Easter book out.
We have an Easter book out, which is, it's basically just semen crusted with chocolate, the whole book.
Or chocolate crusted with semen, depending on how you like it.
Potato.
Crunchy on the
potato
outside,
potat.
soft on the inside, soft on the inside,
Like a-
crunchy on the outside.
What was that thing? It was like
Armadillos.
like an armadillo.
Down bars.
The Devil's Holiday. On the Devil's Holiday, heathen grown-ups who should know better dress up their innocent little angels like Beelzebub's own horde and take them door to door, teaching them how to beg for handouts like filthy winos. What is the world coming to? Satanists are being glorified on the tube. Movies are all premarital sex. Drunks wander the streets. Women dress like Satan's concubines, parading their bare flesh around, looking to lead God-fearing men astray. The children on the porch looked up at old man Jethro. "So, mister, are you going to give us any candy or not?" Sinkhole.
Yep.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Not mine.
Yeah, I'm reading way too many of these.
Oh, we're
I
good
think
50-50.
yours
We're
bottled
50-50,
yours
that's 100.
bottleneck in the tail in the latter half, I think. Sinkhole. Oh, this has Barker in it.
Hey.
This is JRB, a friend of mine. People say that the sinkhole opened at midnight, September 30th, in the Barker basement, but no one really knows for sure. The first anyone knew was when the building and the still slumbering Barker family within disappeared down its yawning gullet 3 days later. The ruinous crevasse expanded quickly, devouring the supermarket and the Granger church. We thought things were at their worst when the taps ran dry, and there was nothing to eat. There was nothing to eat but decaying jack-o'-lantern husks. When the skulking monstrosities scrambled out of the darkness, ragged teeth bared, our grumbling bellies became the least of our problems.
Dum.
Bum.
Oh, it's mine.
That is yours.
Yay.
This is a solid one.
Okay. This is called, amazingly, The Pumpkin.
The poopkin.
The Poopkin. The Pumpkin. The Pumpkin had grown strong against hundreds of his brothers. An autumn army of bulbous kin. From his blackened eyes and mournful stare, and his mouth an evil grin. Thousands before him had picked to decorate revellers' porches, but this would be the year that all changed. Their eyes blazing, the scowling pumpkin horde crawled into the town, drawn by the mocking laughter of masked children and the nauseating reek of boiled candy. When they found them, they throttled them with their vines, tearing off their costumes and swallowing them whole. Abandoned candy sacks and tattered clothes scattered the streets. This is mine as well. This is titled, That One Obligatory Zombie Story.
Can you explain?
Because I don't like zombie stuff and you don't like zombie stuff, and we feel that each book should have something zombie-ish, maybe.
To be honest, in the 3 books, this has been the only
No.
obligatory zombie one.
No,
Really?
I've put obligatory zombie stories in all but the Easter book, in which case I took out the zombie Jesus
Yeah, there was a
story.
zombie Jesus story, but yeah, that got tapped.
It was too much work.
Jesus.
Yes. So, that one obligatory zombie story. Shutter doors rattled on the shopping centre, accompanied by the sounds of hundreds of voices rapping brains. Claire and her family hid between the festive gardening and Halloween costume section on the second floor of Big Buy. It gave them the best chance of survival. Jerry twisted a rake in his hands as Claire applied court paint to herself and the kids. Zombies were unusually popular this year. Jerry's quick thing saved the day, getting every escalator down. After 9 days, the last of the zombies' rot eggs disintegrated whilst trying to reach the women's lingerie on the first floor.
This was about the escalators.
Yeah, my theory... Okay, so I don't like zombie stuff, but I always had the theory that if you were trying to escape zombies, go somewhere with escalators and no other way up. Turn them all on down and just watch them slowly mulch themselves over time.
Just stand at the top.
Stand at the top and be like... And you're hoping that you kind of lock the outer doors, so when they get into the building, there's not too many. It's a bit of a trickle, and they just slowly mulch themselves
up the escalator.
Yep.
Worst stair climber ever.
I don't know if it's another comment.
I can't tell anymore.
You scroll.
Yay! Thank you,
Thanks,
sir.
David.
That's very kind. I'm trying to keep on top of the comments, but
Just
they're not
scroll.
necessarily updating as I'm sitting here.
That's all right.
We are bleeding people though, which is good.
That's okay. Like blood, like literally, like we've stabbed them, or they're all disappearing because
Potato.
I'm sorry, but most of them have gone to find alcohol to cope with the stories, or to find chocolate to cope with the alcohol to cope with the stories, to cope with the kids and the people.
Yeah, we
read the stories.
We ate our kids on the first day, so that's
Barbecue. Right.
Best braai ever. Right, cutthroat odd cider. Should I just go and turn that thing off?
I've been invited to a thing I don't want to go to.
That seems stringent, dear. When the world feels bigger, you should read this.
Should I?
Yeah, this is well.
I can't do it in a. Well, you want me to do it in a voice?
Oh, you just do rhyming better than I do.
Cutthroat hard cider.
There we go.
When the world feels bigger than it should, and your bills have got to get paid, when life's all sorts of unkind, and all you want is to get laid, that's when cutthroat hard cider, trademark, helps the most. Life won't get better, but you will forget your woes. We could tell you that it's 'cause our orchards are the best, but that would be untrue. Our apples are exactly like the rest, but if you've heard our secret, we'll have to kill you. So indulge, relax, have a glass or 5. Dead may not be great, but it's easier than alive.
That was perfect.
Good, there you go.
Thank you. Oh, and here's the follow-up.
Yep, this is yours as well. Yeah, I think we put them together like we had triplets, didn't we?
Yeah, they were triplet stories to kind of get through the loophole.
I'm now on camera, so of course my nose is all tickly and running.
Get you a thing?
No, I've got tissue in my pocket. You can put up my
blow
sexy...
Blow on your elbow.
My sexy face
Shucky,
touching.
shucky.
It's my sexy face touching. We haven't left the house in 3 weeks, so...
Today is day 23.
Yes, of us. And this isn't like we're not going to the
enforced honeymoon, motherfucker.
Yeah. And this isn't like going to the shops or anything. Like we have literally not left the house in 3 weeks because I'm high risk. So.
Yeah, it's worked out. I think it's funny though. It's like it's been a weird situation across the board.
It literally like getting married and then walking straight into isolation.
So we were pretty much the last people
that got married. Yeah, the council was shut down then. So
yeah, I got approached by a lady on Twitter and I was following down her. So I think I didn't get back to her soon enough, but I think that was what it was about. So she approached. She was approaching to talk to us about the
fact we were getting married in the apocalypse.
About a story. So the news, the autumn festival. This is with the cutthroat hard cider. The cider is free and sweeter than any bare thighs on display at any Halloween party. It's crisper than autumn leaves, refreshing as an October breeze, goes down quicker than a $2 whore. You don't drink it, but it sure as hell drinks you. 2 hours after the second keg was opened, the autumn festival was pandemonium. The grass, drenched in bodily fluids that weren't all blood, hollowed out severed heads, set aflame with lighter fluid, self-amputated genitals, remains of pets that couldn't slip their leashes. Those still able to walk shambled back to town to continue the party.
Dum, dum,
Dum, bum. For the record, that was before...
Nelson!
Thank you. Oh, it's Mr. Piles. It's Uncle Nelson. Uncle Nelson.
Alright, oh no, don't do that because then that's Red Dwarf thing that people haven't seen yet.
Oh.
This is another one of our...
Terrify your parents.
Adverts.
Astound your friends.
Yeah, terrify your parents.
It's
astound
Nelson.
your friends.
We have Nelson.
Make bullies piss their pants and steal their organs, genitals, and wallets. Scare them to death, literally, with the all-new, one-of-a-kind fright mask trademark, excluding our 10,000 other customers. Made from 100% genuine virgin flesh, this bespoke hand-stitched item is guaranteed to change your life. For the paltry price of one single soul, it doesn't even have to be yours. Fill out the attached coupon with your name and address, and then trick someone you hate into signing on the dotted line, and make this Halloween the best you'll ever have. I'm trying to think if I put anything else stupid on it. Nope. No. But you can see these images better if you download the book for free, which is free. And again, free.
There's a Dropbox link. It's got one for Mobi and one for, I think it's EPUB, is what Apple takes.
Yes, it's me.
So it's all in dudettes. It's you. It's you.
This is Rain of Blood, spelled R-E-I-N.
This one was fun.
Stop lying. Ben prodded his sister's arm. I'm not. Mom, Kelly said Santa doesn't exist. That's right, Ben. After the seasonal wars of 2016, Santa's reign was overthrown. It's about the same time Cupid murdered the Easter Bunny. But I still got Christmas presents and Easter eggs. Professionalism. Mother Nature picked up the slack until she had a nervous breakdown, though, personally, I think there was a hostile takeover. They outsourced to China. Far more efficient. Who's in charge now? Mum pointed out of the window at the torrential blood rain. The Shadow Man, my son. He has the throne.
This is a triplet.
Oh, this is, yes.
So,
This isn't my triplet. Oh, this isn't my triplet either. This is a...
You wrote two triplets.
I did write two triplets, I think.
So, to anybody who's just joined us, our book that we're reading is Poison Candy. There's a free copy link download in the description to this video. And
we're reading 100 word stories, so they're all drabbles. I always want more gin.
Excellent.
Cool.
Good wife.
The Shadow Man. The old man cowered in the corner of his workshop, toys broken, scattered across the floor. Wait, don't! Not this time, a shadowy figure said, and snapped his spindly twig fingers. Why are you doing this? Things have changed around here. We've had an agreement since the beginning of the time. What changed? The world did. Yesterday's horrors are the joys of today. His elongated fingers twisted into razor-like thorns, hacking and slashing at Santa's chest. Glittering candy spewed from the deep, jagged wounds. The old man slumped to the ground. Dead. Now it's my turn. Laughed the Shadow Man. Oh, this is me again?
Yeah, I told you. Okay, so this is, again, with the triplets.
Yeah.
So,
Part 3 of a collection of stuff about the Shadow Man, because I quite like writing about the Shadow Man.
So we had a loophole situation.
Where everything is 100 words, but you could write connected stories, but not a free-flowing more than 100 words.
Self-contained, 100-word stories each section. So you wrote you wrote two interconnected ones. Yeah. It was this one about the Shadow Man and the end of the world.
One about the candy.
And one about the,
That's also the Shadow Man again.
Oh yeah, he feeds the candy. Right, so part 3 of the Shadow Man saga.
Part 3 of the Shadow Man saga.
By Pippa Bailey.
I told you so. I told you so is the title. Blood struck the windscreen, obscuring Margaret's view. For heaven's sake, is this ever going to stop? Her wipers smeared thick red across the glass. Dave gripped her hand. Hush. Don't let him hear you say things like that. It's not like it could get any worse. No sun for weeks. Everything is dead and decay.
It's like Scotland.
Things can always get worse. We still have each other. Margaret didn't see the first flaming boulder strike the road. The second smash through the...
Blah.
You should hear my recording. Anytime I do audio recordings for anything, you just get this... Ooh, more comments.
Do we? I'm looking.
The second smashed through the roof and obliterated Dave's skull and forced his spine out of his arse into the car's footwell. Fine, you were right. This is yours.
Which one is it?
Yes, yeah, Ryan. They're all of them are 100 words.
100 word stories.
Yes, it took us a long time to write this book.
So the second book that we put down
was intended to be the same, and then we went, that's too fucking complicated.
It was the trimming down to the fine points. So this was the biggest amount of kind of graft, because we learned the entire process of all the stuff.
The Christmas book had quite a bit of graft as well.
Yes, it did.
Some cockhead
set the pre-order.
Some cockhead set the pre-order 2 weeks from when we decided we were going to start writing the book.
I got all excited. Like
And we couldn't change the date, so we wrote the book in 2 weeks.
Hey, Stefan. We've got some other kind of like hangover stories stashed away for other collections and things, and
we just haven't done anything with it yet.
This has been a weird couple of weeks. It really.
We haven't written. We're adding to novels at the moment, but we
finished up our stories for the Wicked Library last week
podcast thing, and then we did. Then our Halloween book that came out last year is the last book that we released together. So that's book number 4. This is book number 1.
Devil's Night was book number 3.
Book number 4. 4th book.
I only have 3 fingers. I can count to 3. So we clearly only have 3 books.
Oh my god! What's this for? Right, read your fucking story.
Okay. This is called Puppet. And it's about an Oedipal complex.
This is a really good gin.
It is. It's delicious, isn't it? Cody grips the puppet tight in pubescent hands, glaring at it with the burning fury of 1,000 suns. The doll has his father's self-righteous arsehole swagger, he thinks, which is a testament to Cody's sewing skills. He knows his dad is asleep in the room down the hall. The image of him sleeping beside Alice is enough to make the boy's stomach churn. Once this is over, he'll get her all to himself. He will find out what she tastes like. Cody twists the doll's head, and the shrill screams from down the hall fill the night.
I got a spit on the mic.
Oh, yeah, this is another me.
Oh, I like this one. This is a good one.
This is one of my favorites, actually. This is called That Time of the Month. It happens to everyone. All month long, she grooms like a fiend, exfoliating frantically, waxing legs, lips, and armpits before roaming tweezers pluck any stray hairs that dare to sprout in undesirable places. Her bathroom is heaped with organic face masks, body lotions, and shampoos, which boast every fragrance from fresh-cut grass to bubblegum boom. When the moon rises like an unshaded bulb, she drops the pretense. Relaxing into herself, she lets her hair down, allows the waves of fur to sprout down the length of her spine like black weeds. Meticulously manicured French nails fall out, giving way to savage lupine claws.
I like that one.
It's fun. These are all fun. This Candy.
Candy.
With an I,
With
so
an
you know
I.
so you know she means business.
Yep. She's got a Karen haircut as well.
I was picturing a stripper.
No, this is a small child.
Normally if it's Candy with an I, it means it's a stripper.
It's not a stripper.
She might grow up to be a stripper.
It's like a paint stripper. Mr. Jennings loved this time of year. Big grins beneath caked face paint and papier-mâché masks. My brain's going. When his daughter Candy lost her smile, crushed beneath the wheels of a speeding car, he snapped. Her beaming pumpkin mask, all that remained of that fateful night. Giggles filled the air. This year their smiles would be the widest and last forever. His Halloween treats were crammed with an extra surprise. Candy that bites back. Blades beneath their chocolatey flesh. Placing them in unsuspected buckets, he'd offer them the biggest smile of all. These are extra special. Eat up, my little ones.
Ooh.
Dun, dun, dun. Ooh, this is yours. Definitely yours. I know this story.
Oh, yeah. I think there was some considerable argument about this at the time. Because we were weeding out the words piece by piece.
Is this one that... No, this isn't the one that took 4 days.
Oh, no, that was the other one. I'm that embarrassingly bad at this stuff. I'm not as embarrassingly bad as I used to be.
You're not embarrassingly bad. You're meticulous and you work slowly, and I work really, really quickly. Kind of balance out.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting faster and you're getting slower. It's great.
I've started like 5 different novels and gone, nah. Whereas you're like, I've got this one and it's going really well.
What is your favorite thing about quarantine so far? Hit us up in the comments there. Like, I mean, not...
I have pants on today, but I've enjoyed not wearing pants.
Yeah, it's 0 bras.
You can't go to court without pants on.
Well, you can, but you've got to go again afterwards.
If I go to court without pants on, I end up on the wrong side of the bars.
I'm just keeping an eye out for this stuff here. Right.
Oh, thank you for the reactions and the shares and stuff.
Yeah, it's very, very kind. We've got some
Oh,
lovely people
we got a cult
around.
invitation.
Autumn Signal. I think this actually originally appeared in something else. Annually, the pumpkin lattes happen. Adverts go out and the hordes of flesh comply, queuing for their fix. Oblivious baristas fill paper cups with steamed milk and spiced foam. Previously, it's been harmless, mostly. But this Halloween, it is special. It's the final sowing. Through genuine smiles, patrons drink the minute spores, whilst within their bodies saplings begin to down roots. They await the whisper from the silent vine. Then they will germinate, forcing thorny stems upwards through organs, meat and bone. Fronds break through the skin and bear fruit.
More comments?
This will be the greatest crop yet.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Do-do-do. I didn't know it was.
This is
I'm
yours.
with Mike on this one.
'Cause
Candy's a hooker's name.
It was Candy with an I, and
I was gonna say.
and it was his daughter, and she got crushed by a car. Come on, she didn't do much hooking. I mean, nobody would pay for that.
I got crushed.
Nobody was going to pay for that. This is yours.
I think that is me.
It is yours because you used my word in it, and you were giggling because you used my word.
Monsters Bash.
No.
Oh, that one. Here's another one about preening.
You seem to have some.
I have-
It's almost like you have really, really good hygiene. Compulsively
Compulsive
so.
hygiene, one might say. This is called preening. Lucy had been prepping for the Monsters Bash since 3 p.m. She'd plucked her eyebrows into immaculate symmetricality, waxed her foof, and straightened her curls. Foof! She didn't exactly slip into the little black dress. Rather, she bullied her way into its constrictor embrace. But when she admired herself, it was totally worth it. Her reflection grinned, much more than it should have. Its foundation-covered cheeks ripped almost to the ears. Lunging, it dragged her backwards, leaving chunks of ragged meat dangling on jagged quicksilver shards. I totally zoned out there.
Keep reading.
That's it.
Oh. No, it's
Oh,
not.
no.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. When the reflection arrived at the party, everyone said it looked phenomenal in that dress. That's you.
It is. The old ways are best. Dean swung his shopping...
Sorry.
Aww.
Better half has just called me for dinner. Happy Easter, Mr. Ryan. Have a good time. Thank you for coming.
Yay. Dean swung his shopping basket against his legs. Why is everyone carving pumpkins? It's weird. Stacy shrugged and continued down the aisle. I mean, is it a trend? There's pictures of people doing it everywhere. I don't know. Why don't you ask someone? I just did. Not me, stupid. Stacy pointed to a row of knives. Please help me choose one. This one. He picked out a machete and smiled. I love that we're traditionalists. By the way, what time did you say the toddler would be delivered? They're so much easier to carve creatively than newborns. Plus, lots more screaming. Here we go.
Here we go. This is the first one of Pip's little triplet about candy.
Yes. I want candy. Hayden scooped the last sticky piece from his Halloween bucket and stuffed it into his mouth. I want all the candy. The man in black crept forward, toes skimming the wrapper-littered floor. I can give you what you want, but there will be a I don't care. Give me all the candy. He grabbed the boy's lower jaw, stretching it wide. Here you go. He forced a bulging handful down the boy's throat. Hayden retched and pulled away. The man in black dragged him back and yanked down his trousers. Open wide or I'll force it in another way.
That's up his butt.
That is up his bum. I don't want candy. Next story. Every Halloween, Hayden bolted the windows and doors, praying the man in black wouldn't return. But he always did. This year was different. Diabetes had ravaged his body. He lay huddled in his hospital bed, surrounded by whirring machines, and a long plastic tube forced down his throat. Shadows crept beneath his door and smothered the room in a bitter darkness. The man entered, wearing a toothless grin, and dragged a large leather sack that squeaked on the linoleum. I can never say that word. Linoleum. Happy Halloween, my boy. Open wide. He squinted at the tube in Hayden's throat. Well, I guess we'll need to get creative.
Apparently I'm making a squeaky chair here.
You have an incredibly fucking squeaky chair.
There we go. That's better.
This is my mum commenting. You have no idea how much I complain about that fucking chair.
I'm sorry. It doesn't please me much either, for the
oil
record. I don't think any amount of oil is going to save that thing.
I'll just dunk it, deep fry it.
Right.
Right.
No more candy.
No more candy. I don't want candy. Okay. No more candy. Hayden's mother wept as his extra large coffin was lowered into the ground. The Halloween burial had been last minute. After a year in a coma, his heart had failed. The ropes were barely able to take the weight as the coffin hit the bottom of the giant hole. A clod of earth hit the box with a thud, followed by a single rose from his mother. The man in black. The man in black slunk from the shadows and floated towards the grave. He scattered a handful of candy on top of the dirt mound. I'll be seeing you soon, he whispered. Oh, it's an advert.
A little promo.
This is a promo for our actual podcast. We have a podcast and a YouTube channel and a Facebook page, and it's all stuff that's nothing to do with us writing books. It's all to do with films and games and anything.
Talking shit about horror
but
movies.
No fucking promotion to do with books or selling things or anything like that at all. So
it's basically horror stuff.
It's horror stuff. It's fun horror stuff, but yeah, it doesn't involve buying shit. Though we have a Patreon. But again, it's just to listen to us talking shit about stuff.
Yeah, that's terrible reviews by horrible people is probably the best way to put it. Friday the 30th. Oh, this is me.
Yep.
Oh, this sucked. Like looking back on stuff, this one sucked.
Story or listen, or...
just kind of like the where it went. And how it all kind of laid out.
My face is like really wide on Facebook, but not over here on our like camera recording. It's really strange. Oh, the chair squeak isn't important.
I know, that's very kind, Joe. This one's about you, apparently.
Alright, short ass.
Friday the 31st. Joseph doesn't care about carving pumpkins or giving out Halloween candy. At Casa Peters, population 1, not counting cockroaches, you will find no glow-in-the-dark skeletons, and a grand total of 0 plastic bats. His salary is barely sufficient to cover lights, water, or food. That's fairly topical.
Camera just froze, I just noticed that.
Yeah, I saw that too. Ignoring every knock at the door, Joe sits in the dark, stomach grumbling, his toes clenched beneath socks that have more holes in them than Trump's stories. Joe thinks of his father, hopes the biopsy comes back negative. He doesn't need to dress it up. Life is scary enough. Oh. And rent is due.
Yep.
Wow. That sucked. The Man in Black.
The Man in Black again.
There
I
we
never
go.
do anything about the Man in Black.
Nah, you didn't.
This is because I'd written the people that In Darkness Sat and got obsessed with the character.
Yeah. So for those not in the loop, the Man in Black is Pip's stand-in Satan devil guy.
Yeah.
And
he has no teeth. He just kind of gummy and floats. Like his toes just kind of scrape along the floor as he kind of moves along. And he's really skinny. But that's my kind of devil guy.
He drags his feet.
The Man in Black. He always knows the Man in Black. On the lookout for deals, bargains of the flesh. If you know his real name and call for him, he will come. Fingers tapping at your window. Spindly shadows growing on your floor. He slips through the cracks of our world, caught in the gaps between whispered words. A hum in the silent dark. Was it... Ugh. That was so thematic and then I fucked it. Not the child, I swear. What is it you ask, my child? He rasps, lips pulled tight over blackened, toothless gums. Make sure once you've signed your contract you're willing to pay the price. He'll come for you when payment's due, ready to collect. Yep. You. I saw Riverside and I know it's yours.
Oh Jesus, yeah. This is weird. This is as kind of nostalgic as stuff gets.
Do you need to get back in your chair?
No, that's fine. Your mom says I must kneel on the floor for her comfort. I'm going to just go for that.
We've been talking for an hour.
No guilt. I know. We are
probably about halfway. Not even halfway through.
Not even halfway through. So we got to hustle, or we got to start skipping stories. One or the other.
Why is it going to cut out in an hour?
Nah, not a fuck.
People
we'll find
can just
out.
fucking put up with us.
Hey,
for
Mr.
a while,
David,
can't we?
how you doing, sir?
Oh god, my leg.
My leg.
Yep.
My leg. This one's called "But Nobody Cares." This is the spiritual birthplace of Skeleton Bob from the newest story.
Oh god, yeah.
Skeleton Bob's one of my favorites of that one.
It's fun.
That's in Devil's Night. To anybody who's just joined us, we are basically reading our entire Poison Candy book. It's 100 word stories. It was our first kind of collection book that we put out 2 years ago now.
And you can grab it for free in the links on this video if you want to just get a free copy.
There's a Dropbox doobly-doo download thing. You can get it for Amazon, or it's an EPUB or Mobi. All the downloads are there. If you get stuck, hit me up in the DMs or whatever, and I'll help you to sideload it if you get stuck.
Yes.
But Nobody Cares. That's a segue because the story's called But Nobody Cares.
Ah, okay.
Every year, children go missing in Riverside, but that isn't news. It's not what people talk about at the office. It's not what people talk about at the office, cafes, or teetering against bars. Sometimes the kids show up months later, what's left of them anyway. Ragged pieces of flesh clogging storm drains amid autumn leaves and bone-brittle twigs. Sometimes their heads still have teeth, though more often not. Tiny jaws crushed by rocks, noses and ears clipped off with what forensics are calling pruning shears. But reporters aren't interested in any of that. They only ask one thing. So, detective, planning to fuck any more sheep?
I just into your stomach grumbling.
Yeah, my stomach is going.
This is you again.
Oh, for God's sake.
And
it's called free porn.
The story's called free porn. We're not offering it.
No, we're
still just going to sit and read stories. You're not getting anything extra.
Free porn.
Sorry, Mum.
Free porn. Jackie boy, goddammit, get over here. You're missing the good stuff. Jack flew through the house to where Alistair was hanging out by the TV. Oh God, that's magnificent. They watched the semi-naked trio on the couch go at it like mad things. A buxom brunette in cat ears sat on Papa Smurf's face, whilst a blonde in only a hooded robe and a witch nose bounced on his cock. Alistair and Jackie went for a high five, but, as always, their ghostly hands passed through each other. I swear, being dead at Halloween sure has some benefits.
I like that one.
It's what's that song called? It's called the Rockin' Ghost.
Oh yeah.
The Rockin' Ghost. It's more like the Wanking Ghost.
Another advert, which again, if you download the book for free, you might recognise that face as well.
Yeah.
This was a night of us
learning.
Yes.
learning dust ropes.
So to make the adverts for this book, some of them are just general images that we put together, but the other ones are photos that we actually
better when we're all sorted.
There's your mother.
I'm gonna
Thanks,
read
Mum.
this. Definitely. So this is from Mumsy.
My mum.
Stories are better when we are all sitting comfortably. Now do as your mother-in-law tells you. Definitely no porn.
I like you just get slightly red. Right.
I always go pink.
But anyway, so we in order
Round
to do
the
some of the photos for this book, this was in our old apartment, so not this house here. So we actually got into our bathroom and turned all the lights off and got into the bathtub in order to take photos that were perfectly shadowed, in order to get things like Mike as a Wolfman. With false teeth and everything. It was
busy.
It was busy. We were covered in face paint.
And then I think we sat
so
and
much fun.
Did another video. There was
we did an
interview thing, which I will link up when we're done with all this.
Oh, it was so much fun.
It was fun. There's a lot of cool stuff in this. We've got a lot of behind the scenes kit.
Yeah.
Specifically in the Patreon feed. I don't know if I've actually linked it in the. in the description. But if I haven't,
no, you haven't.
No, I haven't. I missed it. But either way,
behind the scenes stuff for writing this book, behind the scenes stuff for everything else we were doing, and videos and things that happened at the time are all
have we frozen?
in there. Maybe if you just clicked off it.
No, I haven't. Nuts. Okay.
Did you press the button?
No, we're good. I think my cut. Weird.
It's still recording.
It is still recording. Let's do it. Let's keep talking.
The comments disappeared?
No, I will update from this side here. That's cool.
Well, let's just see. We're just paying for time because.
Yeah, still live. We're good.
Okay, that's fine, because it froze on our screen and we were like, oh no! Nobody's going to see it.
Just trying to do everything I can to just keep on top of what's going on here. There we go. We're live. Hey. We're continuing. We're back.
No, it did cut people out, I think.
Did it?
My mum's just joined, David Court's just joined, Stefan's just joined.
Okay, so maybe it just tapped.
But we're still here.
We're still live. We're still going.
Okay,
what's next?
Next story is called Bring the Kettle. Just hot water, please, the old man said, taking a seat in the cafe. The barista brought it to the table. He ushered the girl back to the kitchen. No, it needs to be hotter. She returned momentarily, cup bubbling in her hands. He grabbed it and poured the boiling water down his throat. More, he rasped. The girl returned again and again. I need more, he whispered through blistered lips, which I'm not doing very effectively. Sir, this isn't safe. I have to stop it. Stop what? The neighbour's moving really noisy things while we're recording. No. Stop what? He pointed to his bleeding mouth. I have to kill it. Inside his throat, a bulbous eye blinked, and Mike's stomach rumbled.
Yeah, it is. It is grumbling. I love that story. Great thing about... Oh!
That's yours.
Yeah, this was mine. Yeah, I'm sorry about the grumbly tummy. Didn't anticipate that.
Oh, look, we're frozen again. Wonderful.
Joe said that we jutted for a moment, but we were live, and David said we're still there, apparently.
Do we just refresh the page on the left?
The one on the left is just me tracking.
Okay.
I'll shut everything else. I'm sorry. My tummy just wants to gobble down all this gin.
Where's the box of chocolate?
It is a hungry belly. There we are. We're still... So there's a little bit of a lag working there.
Oh god, look at my face. I just froze like this. It was like,
it's not as bad as
triple chin.
As the chest, as the test one.
Oh god.
Yeah, 1, 2. Worst thumbnail ever on the previous video.
Like this one.
The great thing about lines. Chris is happy to wait in queues. It's nice knowing that there's someone standing behind him. Then he can relax. He can ignore the sensation of frigid fingers brushing the back of his neck. He can pretend that the person standing behind him in the line is just friendly. Super friendly.
But he's not 6 foot away.
No, he's not. There is not social distancing happening in this situation.
Point, no.
But he knows better. Nevertheless, sometimes it's nice to pretend. When he leaves the store and traverses the autumn street, he isn't alone. He spends each night, spine pressed into the corner, the thing on his back dragging its calloused fingers down the nape of his neck.
Yum, yum, yum.
Yum, 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 yum. Can't think where I made that one from.
Oh.
The Gilligan House.
Oh,
this is you.
Mine. Oh, yeah. Okay. The old Gilligan House. Every town has those rumours about strange and dangerous neighbours. A house with blacked out windows and black heart residents. There was one at the end of Timmy's Road. That's old Mr. Gilligan's house. We don't go there, parents would whisper, leading their young swiftly past. He eats children. Timmy didn't believe his parents when Mr. Gilligan welcomed him to the door. He still didn't when he was led into the kitchen for a special treat. Piles of flayed children's bodies, oozing blood and dismembered limbs browning in the oven, convinced him. The kitchen door slammed shut, sealing his fate.
Ooh.
And he also had sealed the meat of the children so they browned nicer.
Yeah, like those kids we ate on the first day here.
I don't know if this is you or me, But I think it's yours.
Nobody knows, dear. Jim was feeling lonely. I thought I'd bring him along.
Oh, he'll break his legs off.
Oh, so I just needed a cushion.
This is Slim Jim.
Slim Jim.
Our witnesses actually from our wedding are the owner of Jim, and we look after him when it's not Halloween, and then they get him back for Halloween.
Yeah.
So he lives in our house.
He lives in our place.
Actually, there we go. This is actually our fasting strip from our wedding. Jim's wearing it as a necktie.
Yeah. We haven't done the right thing with it. This was going to come down with us to StokerCon, and all of our wonderful people were going to tie some knots in it.
Because we were going to tie a knot at StokerCon, but
Quite
as things went to shit, we got married up here. Day before quarantine. I think this is yours.
Urban Legends.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, this is definitely mine.
Yeah. I was reading the
It starts out like it's yours, though.
It does.
For the record, if you're ever wondering if it's a Pippa Bailey story, it generally starts with somebody shouting something obnoxious in the first line. That is your primary hallmark of Bailey story.
And if it's got a lot of really interesting description, it's probably mine.
And by interesting, she means tedious and long-winded and purple prose.
Yes.
Yes. Urban Legends, clearly an inspired title. I must have been very drunk and very tired, which incidentally is how this whole book was written.
Yeah, Joe, our timing was we got married the day that...
Impeccable.
Yeah, we got married the day that there was the announcement, the whole pubs, restaurants, clubs, everything was shut down, so we were sitting isolated...
At our reception in the pub.
In our back of a local pub with a single balloon on our table and no guests because everyone was isolating. And this was before everything was shut and we were told to self-isolate.
Yeah.
And we were sitting at the back of this thing on our own, having a gin, and then the pub was told that they were going to be shutting permanently at midnight, and we just kind of went, okay, well, let's go home then.
So we went home.
We've not left the house for 3 weeks since the day we got married.
Yeah.
I don't mean, I'm like literally, I know.
Yeah.
No going to the shops and no anything, like, because I've got snacks, so
yeah, it's been colourful.
But we've got pants on today.
There's been some minor adventures that we've been kind of waltzing up through, but other than that, it's been fine. Honestly, like minus a single situation, like, we've got a bit of a problem with like a clogged pipe
in the bath or
and
somewhere. But the house like 200 years old, so
it's beautiful.
It's a lovely house.
I love this place.
But it's like 200 years old, so everything's stone and sealed and stuff, so you can't actually get anything. So throw something with me with a lovely face.
It always has to. So every time you wash the dishes, you get carrot chunks in the bath.
Yep.
It's how it do.
Yep.
Right, urban legends.
Yes.
Bloody letters covered the wall, and they read, "Aren't you glad you didn't turn on the lights?" Scoutmaster Ned's tale was met with nothing but the sound of crickets. The blank-faced kids around the campfire stared absently into the flames. "That wasn't scary," came a small voice from the back. A chorus of agreement rose. "All right then, hard stuff. You tell me a scary story." The 8-year-old produced a cell phone, and following a few deft taps, handed it to Ned. "This one's called 2 Girls in 1 Cup," he said. Scoutmaster Ned would never sleep soundly again.
Just let that one sink in a minute.
Yeah, just let the feces drop to the bottom of the barrel.
Or the cup.
Or the cup.
Right.
Oh.
The bride. Beware the bride.
We got a nagel back.
We got a nagel back. Hello. Welcome. We're thinking people like going away for dinner and then coming back again. I think people really liked your stories. I'm just seeing like laughing faces popping up on the screen.
We'll get there eventually. Like this is just for funsies.
We were like, should we do a proper announcement for when we're going to do this thing? And we went, let's just do it now.
There was a whole thing we were going to stream it through YouTube, and
we just went.
Everything has been a fuck show, and not like when I don't know. I'm tired.
Not like this. This is definitely not
no,
Mum again.
No.
Don't worry. Okay.
Your mum knows me.
The bride. Beware the bride who is buried alive. If you've done her wrong, she'll find you. That flash of white in the corner of your eye, that's her. Her dirt-caked mouth will whisper your name. She's looking for a love to take back to the grave. elongated arms trailing up the sides of her torn wedding dress. On All Hallows Eve, your front door won't stop her, nor will the numerous locks. Her spindly fingers of shadow tearing eyes from sockets and tongues from screaming mouths. Remember, don't look back, for if you catch her gaze, it's already too late. Dum, dum, dum.
2 lines in, I was trying to work out whether I was supposed to be beatboxing.
You heard my beatboxing. I can just do like this one constant beat.
It was the couch. Should not have done that.
You should not have done that. Right.
We got Linda back, and we got an Easter surprise from Nelson. Mr. Nelson.
It's an Easter surprise with a Halloween book. Yay!
We do have a Halloween book.
Easter book. Even.
Oh, God damn it.
Called Rancid Eggs, which you can find. That one's not free, but this one is.
This one is. All the links are in the doobly-doo, of course. And
we're getting drunk and reading your stories. If they get worse as we go along, it's because I'm on my second gin now.
Yeah, we've actually been behaving a lot better the last couple of days.
You mean one day? One day, yesterday, I didn't
days.
let you drink. No, one day.
No, 2 days.
One.
Yesterday, day before.
No. Before we were in the garden playing slash cards.
That was 2 days ago.
Yesterday was Saturday. We didn't drink. Friday, we were in the garden playing slash cards and we got smashed.
That was Thursday.
No, Friday.
This is just blending together here.
Yep. Read the story.
Click, hiss. Click, hiss. Mark turns the TV on and off, on, off, and on again. The static whispers before the ultra-realistic image fills the 85-inch monitor. Of all things in the world, it's him on the screen, but not as he knows himself. Yes, he's sitting on the 12 grand leather couch, but his face is twisted beyond recognition. Severed cheeks flap loose from his skull, dripping gore onto his chinos. There's a shadow, too, hovering over his shoulder, but it's behind him. He's looked. It's only on the screen. It moves closer every time he turns the TV off. Exactly, Mr. Nelson. It is one long-ass fucking day.
This one's called You Know You Want To. Go on, Nancy, give it a rub. Throwing red lights hit a frown. No, I'm doing that. Please touch it. No, not even the top. Just give the top a rub. I'm not that kind of girl. I know the others might have been, but I'm not. Spoil sport. I don't care about the other girls. You're here with me. She sighed and shook her head. Billy slipped the black pulsating lamp back onto the antique shop shelf between the Necronomicon and a puzzle box. Fine. Look, I'm not brave enough to risk my soul on these stupid wishes.
I don't even...
This is me. Yep. Witch's
Sure.
hat.
Ah.
Thirst. Sometimes I wonder when it will stop.
Sound is breaking up for me too.
Ooh.
But that's okay. I'm really... Oh, very nice, Mr. Joe.
Yay!
That... We apologize.
Uh-oh. Okay. Do we want to... Is that a bit funky? Is the internet doing stuff? Do you have lots of pages open?
No, I've just got the 2.
And Twitter.
Yeah, just Twitter and that. It's because I'm running it on 2 screens here just to kind of keep the comments rolling. Because
Okay.
this one seems not to be updating.
It does. You have to scroll.
Yeah, it's not consistently updating though.
Is the sound better now before I start reading? No, because it looks really
Okay.
jumpy.
So, there we go. Just catching it up.
No. If you're going to dance slightly. Intermissions. Go have a wee. Get a drink. Eat some chocolate. Beat a child. Stare out the window at the neighbours. Inflate a sheep. Something else exciting.
Inflate a sheep.
Why not?
Beat a child. Inflate a sheep. Motherfucker.
And now you know why we married each other.
It's better now.
That's
Cool.
good. I'm glad.
Excellent. I am so glad you heard all that. Our demo tape drops in December. Merry Christmas, motherfucker. Motherfucking go. You're better at that. Read your story. I'm embarrassing myself.
Okay.
Motherfucker.
Oh, is that like a... No, that's a freeze screen,
That
isn't
is
it?
a free screen.
That's fine. I'm still blinking anyway.
I know. I'm trying to just keep track of everything.
That's fine. Thirst. Sometimes I wonder when it will stop. The thirst.
I inflated the neighbour.
I'll try again. Sometimes...
With a bicycle pump.
It's better than like mouth to mouth. So you have to choose the hole that you aim for to do that. Right. Thirst. Sometimes I wonder when it will stop. The thirst. My Friday nights used to be drunk down at the pub. The beer would flow, then the shots, then the vomit. Sometimes I'd get lucky. More often than not, I wouldn't. The night she found me, I was laying in the gutter in my Dracula costume, covered in more than one of my bodily fluid. She held me and gifted me the eternal kiss. My tastes have changed since then. The thirst hasn't. I still skulk around the pub on a Friday looking for something delicious to drink. Perhaps you're next. Oh, this is yours. This is the trio.
I
This is your
honestly
triplet.
thought, when you started reading that, I thought it was, I thought
You thought it was yours?
it was ours. Yeah, like I couldn't quite work out whose
no,
it was.
No, it was mine.
Copy link. I'm just sharing this out quickly.
My nose is all running. It's because I put perfume on. I put perfume to do this video. You can't experience it. He can, and I feel like I'm
It's great.
dressed.
It's very fancy. I also put perfume on.
That's what that smell was.
All good. Sound is good. The couple who can talk about cheap inflation together stay together.
Well, we inflate one end each. Meet in the middle.
You hold that sheep down.
That's how real relationships work.
And you go with a bicycle pump.
We have to alternate between who gets the arse. Oh, bicycle pump. I was thinking like...
Nah.
Okay.
See? Someone's got to be the brains of this outfit. The trio. Okay, so these are...
People think the men are the gross ones.
We are both despicable. So this is about a trio of trick-or-treaters who show up in my Pumpkin Guts books, which I'm currently editing, and the first one should be out before this year's out.
If we're still alive. Yay!
If we haven't all died of the plague. Be sure to me.
It's not me you're allergic to. It's fine, Mum. You can hang around and listen to us saying terrible, terrible things. I hope you and Dad
Not
are
at
really
all.
appreciating this.
The trio. First of the night, always special, whispered the pale boy in the pinstriped suit. He corrected the alignment of his grease-blonde hair with a clawed hand, and flashed a piranha-toothed grin at his two companions. The tallest wore a black robe, red eyes flickering beneath a cowl. The shortest, merely a beach ball with feet, under the filthiest sheet imaginable. The looming house glowed orange, jack-o'-lanterns covering its face like molten pimples. Like that. There you go. Molten pimple. A middle-aged man in full dentist garb opened the door. Smiling, he fanned out a rainbow-coloured assortment of toothbrushes. He never walk again. like, who are these dickheads that give out toothbrushes and apples at Halloween? Still here. Excellent.
That feels like a... Right.
I know. The next one's called Sheet Ghost. Second part of the triplet. The diminutive sheet ghost stood on the street corner at the edge of Sleeping Oak Cemetery. "Hey, you fat shit!" Billy Jones had never been one for subtlety, especially in front of his numerous cronies. "Leave me alone or you'll regret it." The high-pitched voice didn't match the beach ball girth beneath the ragged, filthy sheet. Billy struck an arm under the sheet, bent on twisting the child's nose. But there was no nose. Instead, his hands slipped into a wet, frigid maw. Jaws clamped down around his forearm. Billy's world disintegrated into the sound of crunching bones.
Dum, dum, dum.
3 reasons why.
Is this yours?
Yep, this is the last part of the triplet.
Oh.
Love the voice. I'm glad. I'm cringing as I'm saying this. Thank you. Suit's candy haul had been subpar, and although there were certainly benefits to being shortchanged, like razor blading unwanted apples and then sneaking them back into the offering, the offending fuck's goodie bowl, failing that, he could always collect more ears. Grinning, he patted his bulging pocket, and the red splotch on the pinstripe fabric expanded. Testing the weight of his candy sack, he decided it was time to change tactics. Approaching the rabble of costumed children on the corner, Suit slid out his Stanley knife blade, and, in his most seductive voice, explained why they should fill his bag. The on the porch. I think
this is still yours.
Yep.
It's got a pumpkin at the end. It's yours.
That reads me. I had to question. Like, that felt like your kind of story.
I did this the first time round with all the spelling mistakes in it.
And it was
association.
Thing on the porch. Charlotte furrowed her emerald-painted forehead and looked down on the black-robed figure that stood on her doormat. Candy, she spat. Contemplating the unnerving glowing red eyes, she imagined parents arriving with police to adjust her attitude, with words like litigation and register. She sighed and selected a measured response to the insolent little shit. What the magic word? Undeterred, the Grim Reaper glared up, its red eyes flickering beneath the hood. It held out a gaping pillowcase. Totally different deal. Give me the fucking candy or I'll cut you open and hang your guts from a tree. He didn't. So he did. This is you.
Hey, this is Germany and Stefan.
Oh yeah.
In this one. Yeah.
Cool.
So it's Whisper Lake. Peter grabbed Stefan and headed to the front door. Dad, Whisper Lake. They set through the town and dumped their bikes at the edge of the woods of Whisper Lake. They dove in, racing each other to the centre. Peter grabbed Stephen's foot, twisting and squeezing. Stefan kicked out to loosen Peter's grip. He appeared beneath the surface. No, Peter. A long white tentacle coiled up his ankle and yanked his leg, tearing it free from the socket. Stefan screamed and struggled against the creature's grasp. It was too late. He was wrenched into the depths. Oh, this one's mine as well, and this is a horrible one.
Which... Oh God, yeah, this is...
The caustic...
the caustic tale of
tale of Emily Brown. Emily lay her 4 aces on the table. I win, now you do what I want. On your knees. Alex obeyed. She pulled up her skirt, revealing crotchless panties, and locked her legs around his neck. She clenched her eyes. Your turn to weep. His tongue, now buried deep inside her, began to bubble and dissolve. Emily giggled. Oh, Alex, that tickles. His lips peeled away from his teeth, melting and dribbling down his chin. She squeezed again, forcing his entire head inside of her. It fizzled and popped off, his twitching body. I'll save the rest for later, she grinned.
Oh, God.
Good story.
That's
really
good.
It's horrible.
It's terrible.
Yes, it is.
It's vile. It's exactly your kind of deal. This is a
triplet.
I don't think there was a triplet on this. I think there's a double.
A double.
So this is the inflatable pumpkin vampire. Woo! Being 30 had benefits. Oh, you got some cackles.
Yeah, that one. That was a terrible story.
From your caustic fanny.
It's not mine.
It's not mine.
I just write about other people's.
Being 30 had benefits. Casual sex, disposable income, and making coffee nude. But if you lose a bet, you pay up. Sally waddled hysterically at top speed for 3 blocks, her outfit squeaking every single goddamn motherfucking step of the way. I should be sitting on this chair.
You should be sitting on this chair.
To punctuate the noise of the squeaking. Sweat streamed into her eyes. She she'd fumbled the lock open and then got stuck in the door jamb like Winnie the Pooh. As the vampire closed in on her, fangs bared, Sally cursed the giant inflatable pumpkin costume that Jenny had made her wear. "If I come back as a bloodsucker, you're dead, Jen, I fucking swear."
I think good comment.
Do we? Are there any of these stories that you've considered expanding? Exactly. Actually, yes.
Some of them, the characters have come from larger works and been reduced down to sort of little stories about the characters, in your case?
Yeah.
With the trio.
There's a lot of kind of throwbacks.
Whisper Lake is part of a novelette that I've got that doesn't have a name.
The opening sequence actually of Whisper Lake, sort of the accidental prequel.
Yeah.
Pippa's story in the Wicked Library. It's 13 Wicked Tales, which was out last October. Yeah. The story's called
The Unmaking of Jennifer Hawkins. Yeah.
It's kind of a quiet prequel to Whisper Lake, which Pippa's working on at the moment. And that was kind of where the throwback was for that. Across the board, pretty much all my characters infect each other and they're all in each other's stories, and it's kind of just how it rolls. So when you see Riverside, it's Riverside. It's a place, and a lot of the characters turn up there and leave there and come back. Yeah. And I'm just talking. I'm going to read this.
No, it's good.
Like this with the inflatable pumpkin vampire is. Yeah. I think it's based in Riverside, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
The inflatable pumpkin vampire bounces back. The sequel. "You hear squeaking?" Michael gulped his beer and stared at Kevin. "You're annoying when you're drunk. It sounds like a rubber duck orgy. Just bats, drink up, girls are waiting." Kev pointed to the far side of the football pitch. "Tell me you see that." Waddling on green stockinged legs, a giant pumpkin emerged from the night. It headed towards them at what would be considered top speed for a marshmallow. Jaws snapping ferociously, the vampire within the inflatable pumpkin leapt at the boys. The costume kept her far enough away that they needn't have worried. She kept bouncing off.
Oh, I love him.
You wrote a really wonderful little kind of prose poem.
Poem.
It didn't make the cut on the last book just
isn't in
because
any
we
of them,
ran
it's
out of
just
time.
Sitting there.
But I've actually got it. It's in a file here, and
we're going to use it at some point.
it was really fun.
I do poem and ad-libbing songs with terrible lyrics really, really well.
Yeah, you do.
I could weird out a lot of songs really quickly while we're playing them. Normally, it just ends up being things that rhyme with bum.
Yeah, bum, 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 bum.
Right, you ready?
Yep, go for it.
As long as this isn't going to play sound out when you press play.
I'm gonna do that. There we go. Done.
Mice in the attic. Teresa shuffled under her duvet and pointed to the ceiling. Something's up there. It's just mice, said Emma. It sounds like footsteps. Want to go look? No thanks. Fine. Go to bed. Teresa. A voice fractured the serenity. Do her sister was asleep. Teresa, come here. It came from a vent above her bed. She climbed up and peered inside. Nothing. The front popped loose and bounced onto the duvet. Bony arms twisted out of the vent and snatched her from the bed. She screamed as it yanked her through a tiny metal hole and back into its realm.
That's really good.
It's fun. Paul likes to decorate. This is named after one of the cafe owners in the town where we live. The story is not related to him at all, but I chose his name. So Paul likes to decorate. He carved a hole in the top of its head, mutilating her flesh. His hands clawed at its insides, tearing out the rancid guts soon to be baked in a pie. 2 triangular holes for eyes and for the nose, an evil grin of jagged teeth. It would be complete. Darling, I'm finished. Do you want to light him? What? Paul, what did you do? He shrugged. Suit yourself. He lit a stumpy candle and slipped it inside, admiring his work. Every year around Halloween, Paul went a bit funny. Every year around Halloween, Paul went a bit funny. The neighbours' cats began vanishing. Oh, that's yours.
Okay. The room. My room is exactly the same as when this was a throwback to existential terror. This is kind of 3 different types of fear from swimming. And I'll expand on that in a minute. My room is exactly the same as when I went to bed, but totally not. The paint feels a fraction of a shade off from the eggshell white I meticulously selected. What's that smell? Bed sheets? Sunshine blotting the curtains is off. Too bright enough. My mouth is dry and a bladder full. I wait as long as I can before I get up. Was the door always this high? I reach for the door handle, but there isn't one. Instead, a near perfect copy of my door is built onto the wall. The wall that definitely isn't eggshell. Oh, one in the woods.
It's yours.
You sure?
Yep.
Okay.
Mandy is your name. I don't use Mandy.
Yeah, you don't. Good point. Oh. Endings. Hard to say, but there's so many. So which could develop further.
I mean, when we wrote this, we looked at it as being, if we were to ever run a workshop or something like that, they'd be great story prompts. So it was just us
that has actually been suggested by a really good man than James.
That it would be that they would make great story prompts for something like that. See, we
like for a writing workshop or something along those lines.
Not many in Scotland. We could certainly do one. I mean, we have wrong films up here.
Yeah. It'd be nice to be honest. I mean, like the guts of something like that is just setting projects.
Make sure there isn't vague.
Yeah, short projects and people just hanging out with the right because it's really where it all is. That's why I go to events. So, I'll in the woods. Let's go King Ashburn Woods for Halloween, Mandy said. We'll dress up, sit around at the campfire, get smashed. It'd be great. 3 a.m. Drunk fowls and laughing psychopaths all collapsed in the tent. When the shrieking began outside, he started awake. A gritty cacophony of cancerous screaming and clanging rusted gates. The second Clara and the zip away and stopped. But she saw what had been making it. Now silent, blind, faceless things encircled the tent, their elongated bodies quivering. Clara sealed the flap, her stomach writhing eel, and again the guttural chorus filled the night. We're breaking up again.
No.
Then we've got Will Wales, which is your one. That's it's light going on here.
Okay. Yeah, because it's now 6 p.m. Oh.
There you go.
Breaking badly.
Is it?
Yep. It's probably
breaking up badly. It's probably
6 p.m. on the internet.
There'll be a crazy leaning for porn around about this time of the evening.
Probably.
Everybody's so sick of their children.
Well, do we refresh the page?
It'll be much the same no matter what.
Okay.
You can just step down. That'd be good.
Okay, can you let us know when it's settled down a bit at all? I know. To read it again, I'm going to refresh this page if I can. Can I refresh it?
Yeah, refresh that. Or you just press the refresh button.
Where?
There you go.
Wait.
So we're still present, apparently.
Hopefully.
Okay, so let's continue because we got a little quantity to go through still.
We've got 40% left to go of this book, but then again there will be like outro pages and things.
What?
Anyway, so Wilbur Whale's Cauldron Sales is another piece of art that goes into the book. Are your enchantments unenchanting? Plagues not so plaguing? Curses not so cursive? Come on down to Wilbur Whale's Cauldron Sales. Big, small, iron, pewter, copper, we've got them all. Scare your friends, curse your enemies, and do it with style. Are those two pesky children still munching on your candy house? Buy one cauldron and get one free. Cook both kids at the same time, no matter how much you fatten them up. Ulba Whales Cauldron Sale. 100% gluten free. You need an upgrade? Our latest Scoldomatic with stirring motor behind Salty Sal's bar on Doom and Doom Lane. It's the next one. That's mine.
Witches and witches.
No, it's a good. So this story is called Witches. I don't want to be a pumpkin this year. I want to be a witch, Nicole whined. Don't be silly. We can't dress that way in our house. But, Mom, no. I don't care how your friends are dressed. Jane peered out of the window at the Halloween bonfire, flames coursing up to the sky. A bound girl struggled as she was led towards a crackling pyre, her screams punctuating the crisp autumn air. We must be careful and stay hidden, at least until the town stops suspecting witchcraft, or the plague takes hold. Then we can be ourselves again. Yes.
I know.
Oh. Okay. This story that I'm about to read got me hired for my job. I went to my interview, and it was like kind of an informal interview, which is surprising. And I told them that I was writing a book at the time, so we were writing this book. Yeah. And so I read them one of the stories from this book, and they loved it so much they hired me.
I remember you came back, you were so stoked.
I was so stoked. So this is called Got Wood.
Everybody's got wood, yeah.
Jim was dragged into court, hands cuffed and head hanging.
Jim.
You, sir, are charged with negligence, said the judge. 12 women have died and several are injured because of your poor broom craftsmanship. How was I supposed to know they'd do that? Everything was up to code. They're witches. What do you expect them to do with a broomstick? Yes, I know, fly, but it says in the maintenance clause we're not responsible for misuse. This wasn't a case of misuse. How did I know they could grip... How could I know they'd grip them better without their knickers on? I could have accounted for excess linters. Get hired for that story. Oh, I'm gonna skip this story.
Are you? I think you probably should. Though that name's hilarious.
I'm gonna change the name of the used up story because it's currently listed with somebody I really don't like.
I'm okay reading it. Utilizing exactly that name. Sorry about the clang there, folks.
Yeah, go for it. You read this one.
Right, Jim. We're up. This is called Glory Hole. Lex knelt, waiting eagerly beside the glory hole. He'd done this a couple of times before, wearing a nappy. Always fun, and he loved a surprise. Footsteps. His heart raced. Someone was coming to join him, and his glory friend slipped into the next cubicle. The sound of jeans unzipping made him throb, lips locked onto the hole. He waited. It was warm, wet, and wriggling. Wait, that isn't right. Why is it wriggling? He gagged. It pushed further into his mouth and slid down his throat, the force slamming him against the cubicle wall. There's buttons on both sides, dear. Oh, good. Thank you. A tentacle pulsated inside his stomach and deposited its eggs.
Next story.
Regrettable ink.
That's yours. No, it's mine.
That seems like yours.
No, it's yours.
Mine. Huh.
Yeah.
I like how this is all blending.
Okay.
Regrettable ink. Napalm tears burned down Parker's cheeks, his eyes piss holes in the snow. His thoughts clawed hatefully at the images playing on loop in his skull. Lizzie's bare breasts bouncing as she ground her softest parts against a man who certainly wasn't him. Parker tore off his ragged shirt and peeled the cling film wrap from his chest, revealing the anatomical heart now etched into his skin in red and black ink. Around it, Lizzie's name, exquisitely executed cursive. There was only one thing for it. Gripping a straight razor, Parker began to cut her out of his life.
That was lucky.
Sorry, these things are tough as nails.
This one is... Yep.
Because they don't all show up on there.
It shows the scroll bar when there are more comments.
You think that, but Mr. Mark, we got a Mark Young.
Yay!
Into his A.
Right, but little did he know. Not Mark. This story's called that.
There we go.
There you go. Starlight, star bright. The first star I see tonight. Wish I may, wish I might. Get the wish I wish tonight. Leo stared up at the sky and crossed his fingers, unaware his wish was coming true, as his rather obnoxious wife balanced her charging phone on the side of her ludicrously expensive bathtub and slipped into the bubbling water. Bzz! Lights in the house before smothering him in darkness, accompanied by the overwhelming stench of cremated bacon. Thank goodness for insurance policies.
Oh, I want bacon.
Stupidity and Jersey whirlpool tubs.
Whirlpool.
At least he could pay the bills now.
Mr. Mark has joined us.
Oh.
Captain Young'un.
Oh, no, it's
Shocker.
mine. This is mine.
I can tell from the title.
Shocker.
Hello!
Is related to the story that I wrote for a Bedizo Books book called, and the story for that's called In for a Shock.
In for a Shock. This is from, what's the title? It was Shocks.
Oh God, it
the
was
actual collection was the anthology was called what? I think Peter Germany was in it as well.
Peter Germany was in it.
It's over there on the left.
Over here. Sparks. It was called Sparks, an electric anthology. I think somebody called it an eco horror, is what I wrote. Shocker. A naked Matt lay on the floor of his glass cell. The stench of acrid sulphur and rot made him retch. Vomit struck the floor, shooting sparks against the walls. Electricity crackled across the ceiling in streaks of blue. Creatures writhing on tentacles stalked the hallways outside. He shivered, unsure of how he got there. The last thing he remembered was crashing onto beanbag, loading up his laptop and starting his story edit. A creature stroked tentacles against the wall. The glass melted, leaving a gaping molten hole. Time and trial. The grotesque creature. Oh, this is yours. I'll hold it.
Ah, got it.
You got it? Just You were waving the skeleton around. Alright, Jim.
He doesn't get in enough videos.
He doesn't.
I feel bad.
Hey, there is a very cool picture of him holding up a toilet roll and a can of cider.
Yeah, near the house. he's had some serious kind of traction, this boy. I think you should read this, to be honest. Just because you do the voice better.
Okay.
It seems...
In My House by Samantha Watson, aged 4. 4 people live in my house. Mummy is definitely the most prettiest. Daddy calls her sugar and he kisses a lot of her lips. Mummy likes it a lot, but I think it's icky. I love when Daddy takes me for ice cream. He puts me on his shoulders and says I'm his favouriteest. He's always smiling, except when Josh makes funny noises from the basement. Mummy's like it. She says Josh was naughty. Josh only ever shushes Daddy takes a plank downstairs and asks him nicely. I'm glad I don't have to share Mummy and Daddy anymore.
See?
There you go.
Very well done.
It's okay.
Knock all your life.
This is mine as
I think it's definitely yours.
well. It is. So, knock all you like. Nick pointed at his neighbour window. Gotta love these realistic projector decorations. This is the last story I wrote, actually.
Right.
Yeah. Gotta love these realistic projector decorations. A pale green ghostly figure flew towards the window, waving a severed head at passers-by. The sun rolled around his bag of candy. I guess it's not very scary. But Mr. Peterson's across the street. The silhouette of a man twitched and swayed in the window. It's a bit better, I guess. Despite the feverish knocking of candy-hunting children, his door was answered that night, or any night after. When Peterson's rotting decoration was still in December, people started getting concerned.
Anything, love?
This is yours.
How are you guys in quarantine? You all print?
Hello, 4 people.
No.
3 people.
That's not what I meant. Okay. Are you guys kind of coping through the silence thing? Kind of a positive, life-affirming experience, or is it just a kind of nest of stress and bad dreams that we got?
I'm calling it honeymoon. It's our 3-week honeymoon of don't leave the house, learn how to bake.
Yep, she's been doing some really.
I learned how to bake.
She's actually learned how to bake.
I'm a very good cook. I'm a terrible baker.
Yeah,
I made jam yesterday, though.
That goes for everybody, though, I think.
I remembered that you can get pectin from apples, so I made jam. From frozen berries and apple. Smart. I used my thinky box.
Your thinky box.
My thinky box.
Right. If you've just joined, just to kind of reiterate again, we are reading Poison Candy.
Poison Candy, which was released in October 2018. It is our 100 word stories book. It's 100 word stories. That's no more, no less words. 100 words.
And if you're bored of listening to us fucking read this bullshit, you can
just
download
buy
a
the
free
book.
copy.
Oh, not buy the book. Download it for free.
It's in the...
Links up above or below or wherever they are, but the links...
There's a Dropbox link in the doobly-doo.
Yep.
And just hit it up. There's one for Amazon and one for
Apple.
Kindle.
Kindle
is
yeah.
brain.
One for Apple, one for Kindle. So you grab a free copy. If you've got any issues with it, send us a DM and we'll help you out.
We'll talk you through it. But
right.
Anything for love.
But I won't do that. Pegging. That's what he said. Meatloaf said he won't do pegging.
He won't do pegging.
You have to pay him, probably. With Meatloaf.
Oh, I could do a meatloaf.
It's bread. I don't have a bacon sandwich.
It's bread. It's mostly meat.
Oh, hit refresh again, guys.
What?
According to my mum, I think we're frozen.
Oh, Christ. No, that one on the far left.
Oh, why is it on the left?
Because
that's normally on the end of the...
No, it's not, dear. Are we...
No.
Okay.
I think maybe...
I'm scared to refresh the window on the right.
It's... Yeah, we're all jumpy.
Okay, so then let's kill that one then. And I'll track it on this other one.
Okay.
It's just because this is not necessarily showing up the comments as they come up.
Again, they are. You just
hit
have to
refresh
scroll.
again. No, previously they weren't. That's why I opened the other one. Otherwise I wouldn't be bothered. Can I read this story or are you gonna...
Yeah, if people can hear it.
Gonna get argumentative and shit. Is everything okay there? Silence.
Oh, see, now somebody commented.
There we go. Doobly-doo. Yes, it's exactly like a
thingamabob,
thingamabob, just in the groinal region of the video. Like the lower region of the...
Oh, it's written right there. How did you do that?
Yeah.
That is skilled.
Exactly.
If I press it, does it link you to the website?
Mark, if you check in the description on this video, there's a link right at the top there. It's a Dropbox link. You just download it straight from there.
Yep.
It'll download both, and yeah. We apologize in advance.
Yes.
Should I read this, or should I just skip ahead, because I feel like this has been built up now?
Read it.
Betty has always been a difficult woman, but Seymour loves her despite it. Mostly, he loves the firmness of her ass, her legs, her chest. But he loves her the most when her mouth is too full to talk. So when she said that she wanted the ring, there was no question in his mind. But after looking at the extortionate price tags, he'd have to get a little creative. He decided that Halloween was the best time to go ring shopping. With all the screaming and fake blood, it would be easy pickings for a man with chloroform and pruning shears. There's actually a story behind that.
When we
were waltzing around in Stirling, around about the time we were writing this book down, out of sync.
It's your internet, Mum. It's not us.
It's probably everybody.
It's 6. It's 6:15. Everyone's on the internet and people are watching porn. Not us.
Yeah, you're watching us. That's probably.
We're reading stories. You can, yeah. We were walking to Weatherspoons, which we will now boycott. We were walking to Weatherspoons to have beers, and we went past a jewelry shop, and there were some really cool rings in the shop. And
then we started talking about stories and
about
then that
cutting rings off people's fingers and things, not marriage stuff at that point in time.
This is actually that's actually a thing that happens back in South Africa fairly commonly. They don't take the ring off; they just clip clip your finger off. So this whole thing about fingerprint ID for cell phones, when I first heard about that, I admittedly, I laughed really, really hard.
Yeah, you were like back home. They'll just
and not hee hee ha ha with you, just
well, that makes
at
no
people's
difference.
expenses.
Yeah. Right.
Just clip your thumb off.
Hmm?
God dang.
Right.
Not me either. I'm into skeletons. Hey.
Home is where the heart is. Do you know why they brick up windows on houses? You don't? That's good, because I'll tell you. Sometimes you might hear people say, daylight robbery, but that's a lie. Instead, that forgotten bricked up room beats the heart of the home. Most houses are dead now, knocked down walls and building extensions. Eventually something's got to give. Others thrive, feeding on their owners or an unlucky victim's energy. The dulcet throb behind those walls isn't the central heating. Come Halloween, no mischief will befall the doorstep of those living houses, for they are watching and waiting for more delicious visitors. Yours, you use it.
Oh.
I see the name Roxy. It's not mine, it's yours.
Yeah. Right. The All Hallows Monster Movie Marathon. The All Hallows Monster Movie Marathon drive-in screen glowed like an impossible moon against an overcast night. I'm going to just sit still here. But from the back seat of her dad's Camaro, Roxy didn't care.
It's a creaky Camaro.
It's a creak.
There you go.
There you go. Sound effects.
Yep, go for it.
Fuck Audible, we got this thing covered.
Read the fucking story.
But from the back seat of her dad's Camaro...
Stop it. Just read the fucking story.
That was your idea. Roxy didn't care. 8 minutes earlier, Brian had slipped his hand up her shirt. She knew that the warmth of his palm was something she'd never ever forget. 2 cars away, Evelyn Stefan's throat was being ripped out by a creature wearing a man's face. A beast hungry for more than illicit groping and overpriced popcorn. It was 2 days before the drive-in staff realized that her body wasn't a discarded Halloween prop.
Dun, dun, dun.
This is you. I can tell from the name.
Because I use stupid names for stories? Yes.
You've got a very specific way you go about it.
Blood splatter prints. Trademark. Damien poured through piles of t-shirts on my stall. So you're the guy that makes those blood splatter shirts? Yup, said Harry. I could make better ones. Really? Yeah, doesn't look too hard. Just mess around with Photoshop. Everyone's doing it. I have a very special method. If you hang on after closing, I'll show you how it's done. He threw a t-shirt to Damien. Put this on. Damien shrugged, but did as instructed. I don't get it. Harry slipped a knife from his back pocket. Oh, you will? And stabbed him. Well, there's my latest design sorted.
Waiting for sleep.
Nelson!
Nelson? Where?
Nelson.
Oh, it's got Nelson in it.
Oh, Nelson.
This me or you?
This is you.
Okay. This feels like a you.
This is a me. That's why.
Told you.
Oops.
There we go.
Waiting for sleep. Nelson peered out from under the bed, watching and waiting. Bang! The door flew open, accompanied by shrieks of joy.
Sorry.
Lovely.
Jim.
Tiny feet clambered onto the soft bedding, jumped up and down, driving dagger-like broken springs closer to his face. Hashtag. Not hashtag. Asterisk.
That's true.
An obelisk. Right. Worn out, the children collapsed. Snuffled sleeping breaths filled the air. You like that joke? Did you get that joke?
I'm too slow.
Other people will get that joke.
I got the joke.
Ah, the ghouls. Right. Worn out, the children collapsed. Snuffled sleeping breaths filled the air. His stomach twisted. He couldn't hide here all night. He had work to do. He'd been doing this for years, and yet the first scare session at a new house always made him nervous. Nelson adjusted his horns and skittered out from beneath the bed. Here we go again.
Oh, this one was fun.
Yes, it's yours. Here you go.
I think I want... it waits.
Almost 2 hours of talking.
I know. That I would...
We deserve dinner when we get dinner.
The whole book, I am very hungry. My belly's rumbling.
I noticed.
Yeah.
We got loads of food in the fridge.
I am so hungry. It lurks on the top shelf when the lights go out. Nestled in the shadows between an aging porcelain doll and a ragged teddy bear It watches. Unblinking eyes survey the room, as it has done nightly since the soulless thing arrived. It regards the small body dozing below, as each new breath shifts the sailboat-dappled duvet.
The phlegm-dappled duvet.
It is hungry. It's always hungry. The creature's once immaculate white fur now matted with a crust of sticky, decaying sweets. It bides its time, the waiting ever as much a part of the hunt as the feeding. And Furby is ever patient.
I love that one.
I've never owned a Furby, and I would like to, just to have one. Right, I am moving off the squeaky chair.
This is yours again.
You're fucking kidding me, right?
No, this is one of the ones that you use for the images, actually.
Seriously?
Yep. Thanks, Jim.
Sorry, Jim. Look, Mommy. Lost. Oh, this one. I remember
You're
this.
moving like further and further away from the microphone.
I'm trying. I'm
I feel
trying.
tall.
You should feel tall.
You alright, short ass?
Oh, Mr. Short Ass.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
Last Halloween, Tyler found a severed hand on the pavement just outside his house. When he showed it to his mum, she squinted at her phone and said, "That's nice, sweetie. Why don't you go play in the room?" Gingerly, Tyler put the hand in his recently vacated hamster cage. He gave it fresh sawdust and grapes, just in case it was hungry. It wasn't. It was a full week before he came to the conclusion that it was never going to move from the spot in the corner where he put it. Also, it stank worse than Dad's feet. Autumn limp. Oh,
Yours again?
God damn it!
You put them in this order.
I know. Autumn loving. Hand in hand, we ran down the moonlit hillside, naked as the day we were birthed. Limbs fueled by Halloween candy and pilfered cider, we bounded over tombstones, cheeks aching from the ceaseless laughter, lips buzzing electric from hours spent kissing behind the antiquated riverside church. We reached the edge of the forest, and within seconds, Caleb had torn free his ruddy human skin to reveal an ashen pelt. I delighted in the sensation as the false flesh fell away, and my features returned to their natural shape. Caleb led the hunt, and blissfully on all fours I followed.
Wee.
That, I think, is you.
Wee.
Just going to check the...
Check with Jim.
Check the doodads.
No comments. Oh, the thing keeps scrolling whenever you get a comment. You just can't see it at the bottom, you have to scroll. Silence. Jerry liked silence. His neighbours, despite the repeated requests, refused to quieten down, blaring shit music at all hours. No matter how often he complained, police were uninterested in his plight. His neighbours didn't hear him enter through the shutter door that night, nor his footsteps on the wooden floor, creaks hidden beneath the thumping drum and bass. Blood trickled from his head and stained his crisp white shirt. The rusty screwdriver he had thrust into his ears brought the sweet release of silence. It would soon do the same for his neighbours and bring the sweet release of death. Don't like noisy neighbours.
Good old screwdrivers.
This is Head Full of Delight. Shrunken head thing, that's me, with a photo taken in the shower and a lot of face paint on. I'm not that wrinkly normally. It was a lot of fun to do that.
That was a really fun evening.
Yeah, it was fun. A Head Full of Delight.
Oh.
Aww.
Thanks, Ma.
How did we do that? Well, that's all down to our special mix. If we told you, then we'd have to kill you, and then shrink your head. Supply your own head, and we'll shrink it for you. Subject to 30-day money-back guarantee. We've been trying to shut up the neighbour for months. Thanks, Head Co. It's never been quieter. P. Bailey. My wife.
You always do that. It's the pinky out.
That's because I have peripheral nerve damage in this hand. It's because I burnt the palm of my hand off in an accident and I can't move my fingers properly.
Surf's up, motherfucker.
But I still type faster than you.
Everybody types faster than me.
My wife has never been so well proportioned and far more agreeable now. Demented. A perfect gift for all the family. Get 10% off your first purchase. Coupon for one shrunken discount.
How do you decide which order to put stories in?
I edit them, then they go to a real editor, and then Mike goes, "I'm going to put these in an order," and he does.
Yeah, I just honestly,
we normally work out what's the best opener and what's the best closer, and more often than not, they're Mike's stories.
I just go through it like it's a mixtape.
Yeah,
and you
get the highs and lows, and
you just try and keep similar emotions back to back to try and keep a similar vibe going, and you mix it like it's a set.
Yeah, you don't want to have a story about butt sex followed by
something really hard hitting
and heartfelt. It just doesn't work so well.
Of all the examples you could have used at this exact moment, butt sex and heartfelt.
I don't know.
The moment is there
For butt sex. This story is not about that.
Moving on, this one's about Tara.
This one actually...
Speaking of butt sex.
This one was actually inspired by Nelson Pyle's book, Demons, Dolls and Milkshake.
Which is excellent.
Which is excellent. And it was inspired by... There's a scene in the book where somebody's digging around a bargain bin and ends up getting an item, which you have to read the story to find out about. It's a wonderful book. But it inspired this little story. There you go. Yep. Now you know you've got a comment.
Great. Now I'm thinking of butt sex.
That's okay with you.
Excellent.
Bargain bin. Tara rummaged around the anus. No. Tara rummaged around the bargain bin. Come on. Nope. Maybe. Nope. This is Tara Court. Just because that's who I chose to use Tara from. Another comment. There you go.
I'm tracking.
See? Back to the stories, yes.
Thumbs up, but not up the butt.
Tara rummaged around the bargain bin. Come on. Nope. Maybe. Nope. She shoved a couple of DVDs under her arm and wandered around the comic book store. Shopping alone was a regular pastime, and the best way to find a good deal. Oh, what's this? Halloween treats and spooky surprises, half price. She dove into the bin up to her elbows. It was warm and sticky inside. The deeper she dug, the hotter it got. Something rough and wet stroked her hand. Before coiling her wrist like a hungry snake, it yanked her into the display stand and swallowed her whole. Yum. That's yours.
Oh, this was a fun one.
Yeah.
Brush all you like. You want to take the moose? Same thing, shoving your hand in and pulling crap out.
I'm really sorry you've had such a disappointing experience with bargain bins and butt sex.
It sounds like a proctologist's average Wednesday.
How did you get this in there?
Up to your elbow and forget your watch.
Yep.
Brush all you like. Dave wakes up every morning with blood on his pillow. It crusts his chin in an obscene scarlet beard. His mouth filled with the flavor of old pennies, he does what he does every morning and counts his remaining teeth. Not good. The number is already in single digits. Dave tongues the fresh gap as he contemplates going out with a hammer and collecting teeth, but quickly realizes that he doesn't have the malice in his spirit for such an endeavor. After checking his savings account, he decides to hire a prostitute. He hopes the fairies will take hers instead. This is you.
This is me.
Definitely.
Beast in the bedroom. Her bed creaked, or was it the wind outside? Faye didn't like noises that invaded her home at night. This was different. A scratching, grinding sound like nails on a chalkboard. She screwed her eyes tight and wished them away. Thud. The window flew open. Cold air whipped the covers from her naked body, swiftly followed by a gigantic hairy fist that tore her from the bed. She clawed at the mattress, but it yanked her free and out of the window. Face to face with a gigantic beast, it stole her away into the night's inky blackness. King Kong.
King Kong.
It's a King Kong story.
Oh yeah, that was from Thingy, wasn't it?
I've just seen the word slopping. It's got to be yours.
Yeah, that's probably me.
And the word molasses is definitely going to be you.
Yeah, molasses. I'm limited in my descriptive capacity, dear.
No, you're more descriptive than me.
Up. That is both true.
You'd be
and
like fanciful
not true.
excrement, and I'd say shit.
Yeah. Feces on his face.
Go for it.
When the nightmares come. The nightmares are sentient molasses slopping around my ankles. But that's nothing new. Not really. They wait until I'm at ease, eyes shut, my mind flickering between here and that place on the far side. But tonight feels anything but normal. I do what I can to resist, but they know it's only a matter of time before exhaustion drags me down into the place where I can't escape. Their breath is suffocating smoke. Eyes, septic emeralds glowing in the dark. They clasp their arctic bramble fingers around my shoulders, wrists, and ankles, forcing me down. They fulfill their desires. Oh, that's very kind, sir.
And also, Mark asked you a question.
Did he? Do you either... Actually, yes. Mark Young says, do you ever give each other writing prompts? And
yes.
Yeah, often.
Yep.
There'll be an argument, a discussion, or whatever it is. I like this, do that.
Yeah. Or it'll be... yes, there was a story that's in our Christmas book where Mike had come up with the idea for a... Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer kind of amalgamation and he was like, I like this idea but I'm not going to use it, and I was like, oh, I've got a great story to sort of go with that. So we had like,
so it was
Rudolph the reindeer kind of crash and explode, and they get stitched together into just kind of
into a new sleigh.
Yes,
like a motorized
Rudolph.
thing for Rudolph.
It was Rudolph the Red-Nosed Amalgamation.
Yeah, that was actually really fun.
That was a good story.
If you just joined us, because this seems to be...
People dropping in and out, which is fine.
This feels like a news anchor thing, doesn't
Easter.
it?
Everyone should be fucking off and drinking and eating chocolate and doing whatever they want to do.
You should be bonking and eating chocolate. What are you doing listening to us?
Because we move further and further away from the camera as the story's going along.
I'm sorry.
I don't know if you've moved the screen.
No,
there we go. That's better.
Cool. So we've got free downloads of our book Poison Candy, which we are reading from currently. Yes. It is 100 word stories. There are badverts.
Yes, badverts as we've called them. Yeah, bad adverts.
For disgusting and despicable things. This was our first offering as our kind of combined collection.
Yes.
There's a free download in the description of this video.
You can get the full book for completely free.
For peanuts.
We just thought we'd read it to you as well.
Yeah, just a nice little way to do it. We do also have a Easter themed book
called Rancid Eggs,
which is also the links in the description. You will have to pay for that one because we're not that fucking minted. And
but also it's less than £3 or less than $3.
It's $2.99 across the board for all the books.
Yep.
In addition, if you can't be asked with any of the above and you would like lots of free goodies and free shit and crazy stuff, you can find us on Patreon at Pugnacious Press on Patreon. So you go patreon.com, that's Patreon.
Yep.
.com / Pugnacious Press, one word.
And then you get books for free.
You get pretty much all the books on the house.
Yep.
Plus all kinds of other background stuff, behind the scenes videos. There's some story workshops of us kind of plotting out our stories for Wicked Library.
Like handwritten notebooks with bits and bobs. Anyway, we're at 78% of the book done.
We're almost there, dear.
Yeah.
This one is called
Ghost.
If you have ghost,
you've got more stories. I don't know if you've ever seen a ghost, but I have. At night, the spectral beast clambers in my window, forcing his horns against the frame until it pops open. I've tried to seal him out, but he always finds a way in. Once inside, he torments me, bumping and banging. His monstrous bleating calls and wakes my family, but no one will help me. Whipping away my bedsheets, he grinds and chews the fabric. I'm sick of replacing them. Then he escapes into the darkness. I realise I may have made a spelling error at the start of this story.
You're such a muppet.
I like that one.
This was the...
Pure evil. I am a demon of the night. Oh no, it's been edited since then. So
I know.
I am a demon of the night.
Demon of the night, motherfucker. What?
Go back to playing with Jim. Go play with your bones. Right. I am a demon of the night. With sheen of ebony I take flight. Through history I've been feared. As a vampiric form I am revered. My furry body is as black as coal, and I am here to take your soul. Late at night you'll hear my call, as I get stuck in hair or hit a wall. When the moon has risen high in the sky, I'll flap about and eat some flies. I'm made of fur and teeth and wings, and lots of other horrible things. I don't cope well with fireworks or cats. I am a bat.
Pillock.
Hey.
The lump. It started as an innocuous pimple below Lillian's earlobe. I know, it's on my face. But in a week, it had grown. If grown was even the right word. By Tuesday, she'd have given her left ovary for it to still be boil-sized. Her neck ached with the weight of the lump, which hung like a pendulous tit from her aching shoulder. The weight cut off her circulation, leaving Lil's right arm in perpetual pins and needles. Pain woke her on October 31st, shrieking cut through her senses like a knife. Puckered skin on the boil split as the shrieking creature chewed its way out.
Apparently it's a noisy creature.
Yeah, it's a noisy creature. Clowning around. Cheers, Mr. Mark.
Yes, it was lovely to have you. I hope you go have fun.
Enjoy the chocolate and the bum sex.
Or both. I want to talk to you both.
Oh, right. No.
You started.
You started it. I followed it up.
No following through. Hundreds of kids joined the annual Halloween gathering on the White House lawn. Honk. A clown squeezed his flower, spraying the audience, children shrieking, waving their hands in the red misted air, droplets melting through their face paint. He bowed and cartwheeled out of the big top as a troupe of dancing acrobats entered. Slipping into a small camouflage tent away from the crowd, the clown yanked his sleeve and tapped his earpiece. "Job's done, sir. 24 hours till we see results. Good work, Eads. We can't have any more of these youngsters growing up with their own opinions and ideas." It's a really scary story. Oh, this is mine. The old one. I curled my toes, digging deeper into the wet sand. Ocean spray misted the foul air as bubbles rose from the depths. One bulbous tentacle whipped foam from the rough grey sea. It tore clouds from the sky and blotted out the sun. From one tentacle to multiple pulsating legs, it drew itself into our world. I was too scared to run, too in awe of this magnificent beast, this god. I thumbed through the book, dark pages dampened by lashing waves. "Come forth to me, my destiny." The creature shrieked and called down my glorious hell on earth.
Post-tits.
Post-tits. Like after you've had your boobs done.
Yeah, that's it.
Post-tits.
We're in the home stretch, dear.
Yay!
The post-it is luminous pink. Ecstasy this way, it reads. A line of X's beneath. A waft of familiar citrus perfume as I pluck it from the door and step inside. There's another on the picture frame. This way. An arrow directs me towards the kitchen. A third on the fridge door. X. I open it. A severed arm dangles from the top shelf, thumb and forefinger missing. My pulse begins to churn. A woman's head in a bowl. Lip trembling, I stare into the back. There it is. The most perfect tuna sandwich ever constructed. I love that woman.
I love that story.
I don't know about this.
You?
It's me.
It's you.
Okay. Boils and ghouls, thank you for sticking with us.
Yes.
This is starting to get to marathon territory.
It is. We're over 2 hours of reading.
I know. We're nearly there though. We're into the final stretch. So stick with us, and you'll never read again. Black Magic Beans. Xander was thrilled with his candy haul. Still in his skeleton onesie, he tipped the bag onto his bedroom floor. Assorted candies and a tiny packet of black magic beans.
Oh, I'm with you, Joe. Fucking hate it. If this was like a real apocalypse and all we had left in the fridge was tuna, I'd probably brain Mike and eat Mike rather than the tuna. Anyway, back to your story.
She's not even kidding. He asked his sister if she'd help plant them, but Susie cut him off. Don't be stupid. They're novelty jelly beans. She swallowed a fistful to reiterate her point, but Xander was unconvinced. At 3 a.m., after an apparent earthquake had rocked the house, they discovered Susie. Her rib cage puckered outwards, splintered bones encircling the base of a tremendous black stalk that pierced the ceiling and climbed into the sky.
Oh, I like that one.
It's fun, isn't it?
It is.
This is you.
This is me.
I can tell from the title. Also,
I use lots of play on word titles.
yeah, you do.
There's no more things.
Cool. Yeah, I was checking.
Tall tale. Spelt Tail. You're not my mum. Nigel grimaced at as the woman slipped a plate in front of him. Why would you say that, honey? You don't look right. I looked perfectly fine. Of course I'm your mum. Prove it. Will you please stop shouting and eat your breakfast? Show me your teeth. If you're my mum, you'll show me your teeth. She scowled and opened her mouth wide. Nigel shook his head. No, my mummy's teeth are all pointed. Show me your tail. What? I said show me your tail. It was then the shapeshifter realised they'd picked the wrong house to infiltrate. That's mine.
Yeah, that's you. Title.
What are little girls made of?
Just checking. I die. Fish allergy.
Oh. Yeah, no, definitely brain somebody with a can. Don't eat the fish. What are little girls made of? Her spine prickled like 1,000 needles were bursting through her flesh. Taut skin split, peeling away from her growing frame. She writhed beneath the sweat-drenched duvet, legs tangling in bloody sheets. Thick fur... We've got a lot of werewolf stories in this book.
Yeah.
Thick fur sprouted from beneath her tatters of creamy skin. Gelatinous gore clung to the walls and floor. Her soft toys had absorbed the rest. Wolf girl, crawling out of bed, clawed at the locked door, grounded for coming home late from trick-or-treating. They hadn't seen her blood-stained leg or the bite. They wouldn't ground this beast again. If they tried, they'd get a fright. It's hard to do that one because I burped mid-story.
I'm just hearing. Yeah.
This is the Ravenous Candy Sack. It's one of Mike's ones. Okay, there we go.
If things had gone the other way,
Bad verbs.
don't worry about reading it.
Okay.
It's in the download. If you want to read it, it is there. You can check it out.
I've just seen Cat with Balls. This is definitely yours.
Cat with balls, probably me. Yes. For a person who doesn't like cats, I write about cats a lot.
Yep.
It's probably
Balls
because
to
I don't
cat.
like cat.
Yeah. We can kill him and
Cat's
don't feel guilty. In the stories.
The wailing. The wailing never stops, never lets up. It's a cat with its balls caught in a car door. It's Donald Trump trying to say the word anonymous. Whenever Millie shuts her eyes, it gets louder. She can't escape. Her ears plugged with globs of superglue. Frustrated sobs rack her frame. Her forehead a puckered crater from repeatedly bashing it against the bare bricks above her useless bed. Grasping pens in her fists, she drives the ball points into her ears, her shrieks drowning in the molten blast of agony. A fraction of blessed calm follows, but then the wailing continues.
This is
The
yours?
last crop.
Yep.
I think we are right up to the tail end here.
Maybe.
We'll wait until that cock in
Farty car.
with his
look at me engine on his car.
with his heavy gas foot and his tiny penis.
Yeah. He's trying to reach the gas pedal with it and
With
it just
his
doesn't
tiny
work.
penis.
So he's kind of like laying on the base of the car. It keeps it making funny noises.
It always makes me laugh. Mr. Ian, how are you doing, sir?
Hi.
Just to update you, if you want a free copy of our book Poison Candy, it is in the downloads in the description. You can get free copies. It just
If not, you've got over 2 hours of us
you got
reading it.
2 hours of us reading. All you got to do is hang in until we die or this video ends,
You've
whichever
also
happens
got-
first.
Yeah, there's weird conversations about poo, butt sex, burping, tummy rumbling, and a skeleton
And skeleton,
in between
of course.
stories.
This one's called The Last Crop, so it's 100 word stories. Atop Gallows Hill, my quivering hand grips Shelley's as we watch the molten harvest sun sink below the horizon. I say my farewell to the light before we descend. The others stand in a rigid circle, each desperately clinging to their turnip lantern. Through tears, Shelley helps me from my clothing. I don't fight as another binds my hands. I do this for her, I remind myself, as the frigid stone altar makes my naked flesh clench. The creature grumbles from the dark. I buy her one year, a single cycle of plenty. Next harvest, it will be her turn.
Dum, dum, dum.
Hell, this is definitely you.
Yep. Just hell.
Yeah.
Hunched, he stepped slowly through the delicate veil of white. Hot air stifled shallow breaths, burned lips and marred flesh. A light of fulfillment, of peace, was promised to him, not an oil-slick spiral staircase of decay and descent. Plumes of ash danced in shimmering waves of heat which coiled between flame-lined cracks in worn stone steps. Grotesque drumming signalled his entrance into the depths, the thunderous sound of meatless bones striking taut flayed skins, tortured screams from ember-scarred lips, and the welcoming fanfare. Delicate golden letters adorned an arched doorway. Abandon all hope, ye who enters here. Hell.
Can you read this one?
I can.
Because it's a poemy one.
Always keep the lanterns lit. Keep your pumpkins lit from dusk till dawn to keep the eaters at bay. They live in the space between things you see. Where blind, they shriek and play. When they are near, you will know. Their scent, it's honey, jam, and fresh-baked bread. You will not see them with your eyes, but the skin will shrink around your frame when they slither beneath your bed. So close your eyes, pull the blanket up over your head. But if the pumpkins go out, they will bare their teeth, and then, my boy, you will wish that you were dead.
Thank you.
It's okay.
Was it Joe that was asking about where these all reference to?
Yeah, whether we'd use them.
That story specifically was a throwback to Pumpkin Guts.
Yes.
To the first book in Pumpkin Guts, about these creatures that slither in the dark and you can't see them unless you're a child.
Yes.
Last call. Oh, is this me?
Yep.
Last call. Casey's night had been lunacy, but that's Halloween. The patrons had him in stitches with their costumes. Sultry vampires, a politician with an orange face and bleached anus eyes. There's definitely some topical stuff.
We were very
going
angry
through.
at that point in time.
I'm still very angry.
Yeah.
There was even a couple dressed as a pair of enormous tits.
I'm Lefty.
Lefty
And
had
Righty
spent
on
her
the
night
occasions.
propping up Righty, who'd begun drooping after a single Jaeger.
That's about right.
After Casey locked up, he noticed a horned man sitting at the bar. The man started to speak, but Casey cut him off. Fuck off. Like I told you before, there's nothing in the world I'd be dumb enough to swap my soul for. Mr. the Satan.
This is yours.
Oh, god damn it. Oh, Jesus, yeah.
Yeah.
There's some serious stuff in this. Like, it really kind of throws. Whispers from beneath. Shisa? Yes, my little one? A voice from beneath the bed seemed to vibrate Jason's mattress. Will you still be with me when I'm grown up? A moment of silence, made longer by the stillness of the night. Then the thing beneath the bed let out a thundering sigh. Jason felt something slither up the end of the bed beneath the blankets until it caressed his hand. It felt the way Jason had always imagined tarantulas on TV might feel, but he didn't flinch. I'll love you always, Shisa said. I would follow you until the end of the earth. Oh, for fuck's sake.
More Mike. Right.
Getting crunchy.
Yeah, my back's getting sore.
This is real.
We're almost at 2.5 hours.
We are nearly there. We're into the last couple. We have to be.
We're at 92%, so yeah.
Not twice, Randy Brindle. If ever a child needed his ass smacked raw, it was Randy Brindle. He'd TP'd the church, destroyed the coffee bean bathroom with cherry bombs, and sugared Principal Gibbons's engine. But crossing Haggy John's was the last straw. He smashed every pot plant on her porch before grabbing the biggest jack-o'-lantern. But the gourd's jaws clamped down on his wrist and engulfed his arm up to the elbow in milliseconds. Bones crunching. He didn't even have time to scream. Through the darkened window, Haggy watched the legs disappear down its chomping gullet. Grinning, she popped the kettle on. This is you.
Yep. Sounds like... Oh, we got a comment.
Still here. Aw.
Oh, thanks,
Me
Mum.
too.
Give you a thumbs up. There you go.
I've
Sounds like supper. I loved the melodic notes of their screams from my basement, my little choir of snotty-nosed and tear-streaked faces. I plucked them off the street one by one, ushering them in my front door for more treats. I liked the fat ones, rotund tummies beneath grotesque costumes, extra meat for the pot. 2 or 3 kids can last me all year. I let them sing for a while and enjoy my private symphony, but the stew won't make itself. I love bursting in at the chorus and cutting them off a note early. Surprise! It's supper time. I knew this one was towards the end.
This, I think, might even be
No.
the last.
Last one's mine.
Really?
Yep, that's the last one.
Oh, okay. So, just as we get into the kind of final 2.
Yep.
We just want to say thank you all for sticking with us.
Yes, for hanging out and listening to us read stories
Yeah.
for 2.5 hours. 2 hours and 20 minutes.
It doesn't
Ooh,
matter.
no, I'm
It's
just my
like
mouth's
it's
really dry and I'm hungry and it's been really fun.
Yeah, I'm very hungry. My
It's just been-
belly's doing a rumble.
This has been really
I've
fun.
got hunger tunnel vision. This has been really fun. So again, if you don't know, the book will be free to download in the
Comments?
in the, in the
The
description of this video. There's a Dropbox link. You can get an Amazon or a iPad EPUB.
And if you've got trouble with that, you can get in contact with us and we'll help you out get a different version if that's what you need or
Yeah, just
whatever.
to kind of whatever. But this is just a throwdown.
We just thought it'd be fun to do to keep people entertained
Yeah.
for a long period of time.
We've had fun doing this. And
We're
thank you
longer
very
than a
much for
Hollywood
sticking.
movie.
God.
We're like Avatar, but not
yeah.
shit.
And again,
Blue.
if you want extra stuff, we've got a Patreon for Pugnacious Press, which is patreon.com/Pugnacious Press. For as little as, I think it's like $1.
A single dollar gets you...
You get kind of retroactive
Yeah.
access to buckets and buckets of notebook scans of all our kind of anguished teenage and...
There's also little random extra bits. And...
Yeah, there's lots of kind of behind the scenes videos. There's story workshops where where basically I sit in the bath and we argue over why the story sucks or how it could be better.
Yeah.
And all the kind of behind the scenes stuff in the making of what we do in our books and the things and the rest.
Aw, thanks,
thanks
Joe.
so much,
we're
Joe.
glad you stuck with us all the way through.
Yeah, that is get that man a gold medal and possibly some plasters for his nipples, because this has been one hell of a marathon.
I just this is one hell of a nipple twister. I was like, okay.
No. Fire dance.
They need one. They need the plasters for
They
their
need
nipples.
plasters for their nipples. Yeah, these ladies. These are probably some of my favorite images of
This
all
story,
these
that's
kind
why
of
I thought
stories.
right near the end.
The naked woman prancing around around the flames, totally different situation, are anything but slender and lithe. Their wrinkled, sagging breasts flap like old leather in a tempest. They chant, callous voices echoing through the hollow. They call to the nefarious things on the other side of the veil, things that creep and slurp. They promise them delights of pleasure and moist flesh.
Moist.
Sometimes the demons attend, sharing their secret wisdoms while they bed the witches down on the frigid grass. But when the beasts do not come, the aged crones wrap themselves in homemade blankets and knit itchy jumpers for their in-laws.
I like that.
It's a fun,
Last but not least,
definitely not least.
Halloween.
To conclude this Easter reading
I think this is...
with a poem
Yep.
entitled Halloween.
Halloween. Fire crackles between decomposing leaves, orange flames that signal summer's end. Samhain is here, and the seasons must change. It's their time, and the unseelie court demands it. The musty perfume of decay ushers in mischievous fae for tricks and treats. Whispers on the wind say, "Wrap up warm, my children. The dark is here, and All Hallows' Eve is soon to follow. Keep your lamps lit and bolt your doors, for things that crawl and snap will roam again. Carve your face and protect your homes. The boundary is broken, and the living and dead walk as one." That's made my skin go all weird reading it. I don't know what that's
Your
weird.
face.
Yeah, my face went all weird. I was
It's all
reading
kind of dry and sticky.
it. No, like tingly. It's weird.
Me too.
So,
I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So if you've enjoyed this, thank you very much for sticking with us again.
yes, thank you.
Stay safe. Wash your fucking hands. And don't leave the house, for Christ's sake.
Exactly.
We
Which
hope you
freaking
guys are
fruity
keeping
was-
safe. All the rest is
This
basically
is just our bio
paraphernalia.
when...
If you like this and you want to do us a good turn, grab a download, whatever it is. Like we said before,
Yeah.
we've got a Patreon there, which is fun. There's lots of kind of... There's a assortment of amazing backlog of cool stuff, and I'm tripping over my words because my hungry belly is hungry.
Yeah. If you like books, we do them.
Yeah, we do them a lot, ski. But other than that, stay safe.
Yes. Stay safe, stay home.
Yeah.
Take care of your loved ones from a 6-foot distance. You can learn to change nappies with like a hook thing and a claw, or make someone else do it. Either way.
Even better.
Just, stay safe.
Oh, thumbs up from Dad.
Thumbs up from Dad. That's good. Thank you, parents.
And you guys just look after yourselves.
Yep.
And we'll see
Love to
you
everyone.
soon. Lots of love. Bye.